and welcome.
Welcome.
Good morning to Better Days Zellers. Good afternoon to anyone who is closer to our time zone, and maybe good evening if we have any people in Asia.
Yeah.
Should be evening. I know how the sun works and everything else.
You also know who is hosting the stream?
I know exactly who's hosting the stream. I am hosting this stream.
You're hosting the stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have never been confused about that.
Sure. I told Marcus like 5 minutes ago, I was like, you haven't sent me a link, have you? And he's like, why would I send you a link? So I could get into the stream? What? You're hosting?
Oh, well, yeah.
No?
Yeah.
And I now have a link, so I can be in the stream.
Yes.
And I'm very sorry to all of you.
So, how is everyone doing? Who is in the chat? Are we feeling ready? And are we feeling like this background is a bit busy? I'm not sure about it.
Maybe it is, actually.
Because I put it up and I couldn't double check when we weren't two people in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not sure.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Remove me for a second. How would it look with just the one person?
I mean, with just the one person,
Oh,
you
okay.
can't see it at all.
Okay, that's not a background.
So.
Okay, fine. Maybe it is a bit busy.
Maybe. I'm gonna... Because I have options. I have this one that I've used before.
Mm-hmm.
I also have this one.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah. And then we have the normal one from StreamYard.
Which looks so dark now in comparison.
I know.
I like the scribbly one, if that's one we're allowed to use.
Huh?
I like the scribbly, the notes one.
Yeah.
If that's one that we're allowed to use. There's not a copyrighted thing.
I got it from Canva and I'm paying for Canva, so it should be fine.
Okay then.
Hello. Okay, we have lots of people.
Yeah.
Violet is here, and Moon is here, and Avi is here. Woohoo!
And the background is extremely cool with the elements, but a bit busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Avi also liked the writing one, so let's
try the writing one.
Let's do this one, and then I'll see if I can make a different element one for next time. That's maybe not quite as busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Avi's doing well. That's good.
Yeah.
And I'm just assuming that everyone else is also doing well because you're not complaining. So
I mean, I tend to interpret Violet's those emojis to be good.
yes, I mean it's a fox and a snake.
Yes, and
a happy face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, hello and welcome again. Has everyone who's here seen the videos we've put up with the update, or should we quickly run through what we said in those as well?
I feel like if people have not watched those, that's their problem.
Okay.
I don't want to spend too much time on
the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But have we? Are we any further ahead than we were in those update videos?
Right.
Also, I'm just assuming that everyone who is here knows what we're doing. If you don't, we're gonna be getting your guys' help with some problems we have in our dual role project. And if you don't know what that is, then I am very sorry. And there are videos linked below and playlists linked below where you can find out.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm eating cookie dough, which is the most important update.
Yes.
So, yes. I have not written any more since I filmed my update. So I'm in the exact same spot, both word count-wise and story-wise.
No?
I haven't added anything or removed anything. So, yes.
Cool.
I might have added one or two more questions to the list that I didn't bring up in the video, but yeah. What about you?
I wrote a little bit more because they were just in the middle of getting attacked when I filmed that.
Right.
Yeah.
As a dragon, yeah.
Yeah. And now I have written them getting out of that, which was way too easy. And Niam is just about to go into the city that has the archive where he's gonna do some research, and Teb has left him.
Oh no. What is Tev gonna do and how are they gonna meet up again? Is my question.
Well, Niam is already he's shown the map and been like, yeah, I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna take this route, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
but you can't come with me into the city. But if you want to join up with me later, this is where I'll be.
Oh,
So yeah, that's what's going on right now.
cool.
Yeah.
Can Tev Dragon breathe fire?
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, that's probably pretty easy to escape from a fight when you're a dragon and can or fly.
When you're a dragon and have the flu, so you keep sneezing and then you keep, firing at people.
Yes. Yeah, there was that, and Neum made a small earthquake happen.
Oops.
So yeah.
I hate it when that happens. That would be cool though. I don't know where you're at, where that happens on the map, but it would be. I mean, she's not there. She's elsewhere. What? No, whatever. Like if either one of them uses their elemental powers in a way that affects the other person.
No.
Like if that earthquake also hits Lyd,
No.
but she thinks, oh, it's just an earthquake because they happen? ?
Yeah, we don't know if they. I thought of that when I wrote
Yeah.
that. I don't know if they know what an earthquake is.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that could be cool though if things they do affect the other person.
Yeah.
Without them being aware that they're being affected by the other person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My hair looks so stupid.
But it's cute.
Thanks. Yes, so you've removed Neum and Tev from that fight.
Yes.
And Neum is now in or heading towards that city.
Yeah.
And Tev has flown off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have actually written a lot about that city that you might need to know.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna say, like almost a month ago, I did make an account on World Anvil,
Mm-hmm.
and I said that to you.
Yes.
And then I never linked it to you, so I don't know if you've been able to find it. And I haven't even checked if I have the ability to update anything. So
yeah, no, I need at least a username.
Yes.
In order to allow you access to the World Anvil. But I will say I have also been pretty bad at updating World Anvil.
Yeah.
So
should we put that into the document because we're collecting things or like putting things here to do. World Anvil.
Sure. I'm gonna go grab some paper because I just spilled some tea.
I just spilled some water. Could you get me some too?
Yes.
Username. Great. But we can talk through the city on our own. On our own. I'll talk to myself and he'll talk to himself. That's gonna be fine. Oh, I didn't need that much paper.
Well, that is how much paper you're getting.
Thank you. How much water do you think I spilled?
I don't know.
Half a bathtub?
I have seen you spill water before.
You have also seen when it rained in through our window and I was just standing in the doorway going, water, 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 water. And he was like, you're thirsty? Anyway,
Yep.
We can talk through the city later on our own, like just the two of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think we have questions about it unless I've done things completely wrong and you disagree with how I've built the city. But it's fine.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. I was gonna ask, does the chat have any questions?
Right. We started with that last time too. Yeah. Oh, that's much better, I think. Cool. Do you guys have any questions that you brought over from the videos you watched? Any questions in general, like Moon's does Tev breathe fire question? Anything at all? And you don't have, like, if you don't come up with them now, but you think of them later on, of course, drop them in the chat. That's kind of what it's there for. But yeah.
Just wanted to know if there's anything you guys feel like. First of all, is there anything that you guys feel like you need to know before we jump into this, or do we just jump and see what happens? Happens. Yes.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting for that, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Talk about your tea.
I have tea. It is choco.
Yeah. Cool.
It is chocolate and coconut.
Yeah.
And it is in a Stitch mug that has a Stitch on one side and cute and fluffy.
Is anyone surprised?
I don't know.
Yes.
I That's what's weird with it. I forgot to bring honey.
Yeah.
Cool. I will bring honey at some point.
I mean, you can go do that now if you want to.
I will go do that now.
Yes. I like you can see the shadow. You can see Marcus is appearing on his camera, and then you can just see the shadow of him passing on this side. Also, if you can see this is part of our bookshelf. Marcus put glow-in-the-dark stars in that bookshelf because we've had those stars for, I don't know, 5 years and never put them up. And I've never had glow-in-the-dark stars, and I've wanted us to put them up, and they now live in this shelf. That's Marcus' shadow again. And there he is. Well done. There are no questions really rolling in. So if you come up with them later, drop them in the chat. That's more than welcome.
And my tea is amazing.
Yes.
I bought it in London,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought like one bag of it the first time we were there. And I brought it home, and like it was amazing. And so the second time we were there, I bought like 5 bags of it.
Yeah. I don't drink tea, but that one smells so good.
Yeah.
It smells exactly like you'd expect with chocolate and coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Moon is saying that they're ready for the list, and I'm going to close the door because our neighbor's moving in.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well then, I will share my screen.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so weird with that on the background. Or weird, but it looks so not like I'm used to.
I'm
sorry. Yes, and these are
I'm
in
not
the.
allowed to. Is 200 the highest they can go? Okay, cool.
Oh, well, that looks pretty good to me, but let us know in the chats.
I'm gonna make it.
Is it
overlap
linked?
with the sticker.
Linked to
Should be
the-
linked.
To the whole thing?
I think
The
so.
whole drive? No.
It's not.
Yes, drive folder, more information. Yes.
Yes.
If you click on that.
And also the last link, some of the things we want to discuss today, that's
Ah.
directly to this
Okay
document.
then. Okay. So, this is the beginning of our list. It's not a very long list. I feel like last month's was a lot longer. But
Yeah. We also added some things, and I'm sure we're gonna add things today too.
we tend to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what you're in for, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, or he. Yes.
Or he.
Funny contrast between old-fashioned handwritten notes on yellowed parchment and newfangled computer document text.
Yep. Yeah. I want to make an overlay that has like frames around the that and the us and the
And the those and the these and the those.
yes.
Can mine
Maybe
be
I will
pink
do
and
that at some
sparkly?
point.
Can mine be pink and sparkly?
Of course I can.
Excellent. Well then,
Yes.
should we just run through these top to bottom and then?
Yeah.
Probably hop around.
How does the elemental magic work?
Not that again.
Yes, that again. Because we haven't really considered or really talked about whether they have to be touching the element or like I am manipulating the metal in your sword. Do I have to touch the metal in your sword? Or is it enough that I can see it or that it's, close enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet I feel like we talked about it and we said that they did have to touch it, but at least I haven't written it that way.
No.
There have been at least twice where Lyd has used powers that she doesn't actually have access to. Like powers she's acquired, but like, oh, I'm going to start a fire now. Not touching anything flammable, not touching flames, not touching, you know.
Yeah. What have you guys written so far? Have they been able to touch the elements when they do the elemental magic? I mean, that's the thing. I just like you, I have also written at least once that Niam manipulated something that he wasn't holding.
Yeah.
And also, like, how does it count when they manipulate air, they have to manipulate air that they're not directly touching in some way.
Yes. Yeah.
But then they're touching the air that is touching that, but also they're touching the air that is touching the metal. So
Yeah. True. So after they acquire the air power, they can do anything. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Yeah. Because Lyd, let's see. She touched a person and burned them without having access to any fire.
Mm-hmm. So she created fire.
She created, in that case, yes.
Yeah.
Fire or like a strong heat.
Yeah.
If not, like she didn't set them ablaze, but yeah.
Yeah.
And once she grabbed a spear, like the handle of a spear, which was wooden,
Yeah.
made of wood, but she manipulated the metal bit of the spear. So then she was at least touching something that touched something else.
Yeah.
I think she also tried to make fire once, and succeeded to make fire once by just like holding or looking at a piece of wood,
Mm-hmm.
having the firepower, of course, and then setting that ablaze.
Yeah.
So don't really know.
No, but so the alternatives are either you have to touch it or you can do it from a short distance. Those are my alternatives, but I'm sure there are others. It could differentiate depending on the element. Yeah, that's a good point. And Noel is overhearing and points out that and earthbenders can bend earth they're not touching as long as it's connected to the earth they are touching. Yeah. And how do you touch electricity exactly? It's a little bit.
You stick a fork in the. Don't do that.
Don't no.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Like metal, you have to touch it or the rock where the metal is, but you don't have to touch fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I agree with Avi. It should be element dependent because the elements are different.
Yes.
So yeah. Touching thing is confusing to Violet. Which part is confusing? Can we help? Oh, one of my kids stuck a paper fastener in an outlet last week. That's not good. I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
And that everything else is okay.
I did not tell them to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. Depends on the element.
Sure.
Yes. Because I was thinking regarding the earthbenders, since we have now watched a little bit of Avatar, even though it's been a while now.
Been a while.
Yeah. But because the earthbenders can also like they can take earth from the ground and then when it's up in the air they can still manipulate that.
Yes.
Which
for this would make a lot of sense for our story.
Yeah.
If you then have like the ground and the air power, then obviously you could do that.
Yeah.
But if they've bypassed that sort of in Avatar, that they like you said, pull the earth, the ground, the rock, whatever up, and then also are able to fling it, and that still counts as a ground power.
Yeah.
Or earth power. Or...
I mean, it could be a thing of like, yes, but you did touch this earth.
Mm-hmm. So like, any earth you've ever touched is yours for the.
Maybe there's a time.
Okay.
Time thing there.
Okay.
Because I'm also thinking in terms of, because I remember us saying that they couldn't create the element that they were manipulating.
Yes, which then is very difficult to make fire.
Yes.
For example.
But that could be, like with fire, if the thing they can do is manipulate heat, not technically fire as such.
Okay, so then... for Lyd in that case, the person had body heat and she just touched them. She had body heat as well, and that part of the body, she like erased the heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And like the stick also just making it warm enough to.
I mean, because then it's a case of energy.
Yes.
Which, yeah, we could choose energy. Energy can never be destroyed, or it can only be transferred and changed and Science class.
Yes.
I went to school once.
Once.
That's what I learned.
Cool.
I think in Avatar it's more like you can manipulate any Earth anywhere it is as long as it's close enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
maybe.
that's a question as well. Veering off this a little bit. You said that Neon created an earthquake.
Yeah.
And if someone was to set off an avalanche or rocks tumbling down off a cliff, whatever that's called in English, not more concise. Rock slide, yes. If you were like, I am standing down here. I'm thinking Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
I know she shoots a firework rocket thing, but still. I am down here, the enemy is approaching, or whatever it is I need to defend myself from, let's call it enemy, is approaching. Here is this big mountain that I'm not on, and I'm not touching, but I am standing on the ground that eventually turns into this mountain over there, you know? Can I set off a rock slide or an avalanche or something on that mountain? Or is that too far away? Or is that, like, the limitations like that? Because if it is, you have to see it, then yes, mountain. But I also see clouds. I could make them rain. I see. And if it's you have to touch them, then technically me touching this piece of ground touches that piece of ground, touches the other side of the world.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, but I think it would be easier if it was a like distance limit.
Mm. But then we have the problem of distance that we talked about in the previous stream. That Lid doesn't use distance as like a mile. She uses 3 days walk away. She's very slow.
Yeah, but that doesn't like the terms they use for distance wouldn't matter for their magic, probably.
I guess not. Yeah.
But if we go element by element, air.
Yes.
They can manipulate air that's close enough. No, like
the closer the stronger, the further the weaker. Is Violet's suggestion?
Yeah.
See, I just started having an idea now that like while they're it's so bad. While they're figuring out their powers and how to use them and how it works, and perhaps especially air, which seems a bit difficult to define. I'm just like, oh, I'm really trying to do this thing. It's not working. And like, I'm trying. Fine, I give up. I'll try again tomorrow. And then meanwhile, on the other side of the world, it's just like the teeny tiny little tornado. Just like, so like they succeeded, but not. They didn't have the right focus or the right distance. Like whatever. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, they can manipulate air that they are near.
Yes. Sorry, I just how strong do we want them to be? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could send energy out from themselves like a ripple that might be able to affect more distant things they're not connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. If it's like, I mean it's basically the similar to what Violet is saying then, that your power over this element is stronger if you're touching it or if it's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also, I can from here to over there, I can start an earthquake, but the earthquake will be the strongest where I am. Or
yay!
Like
I love surrounding myself with earthquakes. It's my favorite thing.
Yes.
That could work. So in theory, like you said, you could start an earthquake right here, like a meter around you, like somewhere there could be the center. But it could still affect, I don't know English terms, but like 20 miles away. But that would be like, it would be more like just a couple pieces of gravel, you know? Yeah. Or in which case, with practice, they might be able to increase their range.
Yeah.
It's also a thing.
Yeah.
And what have we, this is a slight side note, but what have we said about their powers? Does using them make you tired?
Yes.
Right? That is the...
Yeah.
Okay. So potentially, theoretically, if you then get, I don't want to say more physically fit, but like if you practice and you get stronger in your elemental magic or in your air magic in this case.
Yeah.
Think of it as a muscle, you know, you work it more and then you get stronger.
Yeah.
And potentially then either you can do stronger things right here where you are, or the distance you can affect increases.
Yeah, or both.
Or both. Great.
Yes. But in that case, they manipulate from where they are.
Yes. I'm spelled.
But can affect
Monopoly.
things further away. The more they practice, the further away / the stronger.
Yeah.
Here and wherever they are.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Which means that Niam is going to be so much stronger than Lid is because she doesn't use her powers. But also, I mean, I think that works because she mostly also, so far at least, she hasn't used any powers for over there.
Mm-hmm.
She has been very self-centered in her powers. I mean, I touch you, you burn. I hold the spear. I mean, the spear tip, the spear edge, what it's called, the sharp bit. She didn't know either. I think she called it the point of it at one point. That you can affect because you're near to it.
Yeah.
Or close to it.
That makes sense also.
Yeah.
From a perspective that shapeshifters are kind of physical and the touching each other to communicate privately and stuff. And that she's more physical here, whereas Niam is a little bit more distant towards people in general.
I like
so
that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Lid and Niam use their powers. I don't know why I always start like half singing, and it's never good. Their powers differently. Lid is more touchy-feely because shapeshifter. Niam more distant. Just to try to remember what we meant.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at this in 3 days and be like, what the frick were we on about?
Yes. But then we will ask you people in the Discord and you will help us explain what we were thinking.
We can just rewatch the stream too. This was a 28-minute mark.
Cool.
Yes. Amy likes that. That fits very well with their personalities.
Yeah, I felt like that was a good... Cool.
I find it so... sorry, side note again. I just find it so interesting, the things that either like I wrote something before that ends up coming back and be like...
Yeah.
Or this, we're like, we've done it in a certain way. And then we're like, it makes so much sense. It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's the like bad thing about us sharing our entire process with you is that you guys know that we didn't plan that in advance.
But you do know how cool we are for like just magically doing this without planning it.
Yeah. True.
It's my Panzer heart is very happy. Also, that could make them lean on different elements depending on their personalities. Like Niam is more comfortable with air since it's further away, and not so much with metal, which is a touching element.
Yeah.
So that way you could have them each favor different elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing too. And I mean, up at this point in the story, Lid has used fire and metal, I can remember. Mostly. She's just learned electricity, so she hasn't used that one yet. I don't think she's tried it. I think she's like automatically going to be drawn to water, but I don't know if water will be drawn to her. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, air, if we should run through the list of the elements.
Yes. But then the question is, do we need to? Because this could work for like all of the elements.
Mm-hmm. Just to talk that through one more time.
Yeah.
That means that if I'm going to say I, but I mean lid, obviously.
Yeah.
If I want to use my
flower power.
Yeah.
Flower power.
Yes. If I want to use my I'm going to go with a different one. If I want to use my air powers, I can like, the air closest to me is the easiest for me to manipulate.
Yeah.
Anyone who gets this magic can manipulate the air closest to them.
Yeah.
And I can make that turn into a teeny tiny tornado, or I can make gusts of wind, or I can, that's what I can do. The more I use it, the stronger I can affect the air around me, and the stronger I get, I can also affect air that is further away from me.
Yes.
Should there be like a radius, but not just for air necessarily, of like how much can you affect from the beginning, or is that an individual thing as well? Is it like, yes, there's a span of my arms, if I spin in a circle like this, that is the air or ground or whatever that I can affect? Or is it like, 4 by 4 meters, or like something like that? Or is it very individual? Or do we not have to specify that far?
I think maybe we don't have to specify it. And it can sort of, because that would probably depend both on the individual and on the element. I'm thinking air might be easier to manipulate further away than earth, because air is lighter, like just that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to call the plant power flower power from now on.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And maybe you could see Tev call the plant power that.
Definitely. I've also realized that Tev is very into puns.
Yes.
As a side note.
Which has absolutely nothing at all to do with number 3 on this list.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know why that would be important. But I think, because the way I've written my air trial, I'm going to go back and fix that. But an idea that I had for that was, because there's a house or a city or something that's like ripped from the ground and it's up in the air, and she has to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And an idea I've had for that is that she uses like magical vines or something to shoot up and grab the houses and then safely bring them back down again. They are quite high up in the air. They're not just like, whatever this is, 5 inches off the ground. They're like up there. They are tiny. I can barely see them, sort of thing. And yes, that is after she gets her plant powers, but she doesn't use them much.
My first question is, why not just use the ground power to bring that ground down to this ground? But that...
Because Lynn doesn't think that far.
Okay.
Now I have an idea. I mean, right now, how I've written it, I'm pretty sure she goes into her bird form, she flies up into the air, she flies in through a window, shifts back to human, grabs a rope, ties that somewhere in the house, and jumps out the window, and then lands on the ground and pulls the house down.
Cool.
I hate it. It's horrible, and I need to fix it, and I don't know how to do that. But maybe using the ground power and magnets, and sure. Yes.
And Moon is also saying that the roots of the plants would be close to her, which is a good point. Because the power of a plant comes from its roots.
Yes. True. So long as she tends to the roots and stays near them, she could be able to shoot the actual plant out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, do we ignore this bit and just say this, and then we'll tweak it as we're writing? Yeah.
I think for now we can ignore that.
No.
Maybe that's bad. I was gonna say maybe leave the depends on the power, and then put a question mark after it, so we can go back and be like, okay, we did have a thought there that we didn't use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah. Also, she could be exhausted after it,
Yeah.
having spent all her energy since it is so far to reach.
I mean, that is the first time she really uses her energy, that much of it. Not her energy, her powers, that
Yeah.
much of it. Kind of almost the first time she uses it at all. I can talk.
Yeah. And that strenuous exercise of that power can make it just so she has greater abilities with the power later on.
True.
Yeah.
Because she needs a bigger rest. I'm going to write this down. Because she needs a bigger rest after it. But she's also advanced further.
Yeah. She's used that muscle. It is now stronger.
This is me with a dumbbell. Yes. What did we say? We said uses. I'm still writing on envelopes, by the way. I love writing on envelopes. Uses a lot of power/energy for the air trial with the plants and the roots and the vines. Exhausted afterwards, but has advanced, quote unquote, that power.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if we go back to the which powers each of them prefers and stuff, plants is also a bit like they need nourishment and they need attention and they need care, which is also kind of tied to shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Yes.
You wanna
what they prefer?
Yeah. Ian's favorites.
Ew. Yes.
Air, which is good because I've already written that he enjoys air.
Mine.
Yes.
Don't we all?
I'm also thinking electricity.
Yeah.
Because that's also more distant and.
And for her, we've now said plant. Sorry. And so far she's used metal and fire as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a lot, but a little bit. That's kind of what she's been using.
Yeah, but what is, like, are those...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, when it comes to just what is a more, I was going to say abstract, but a less touchy power, and what is a more touchy power, where I think, like, plants, metal, and ground should be, those are very physical.
Yeah.
Whereas air, electricity, what else do we have? Fire and water.
I mean, we don't have to split them up and both of them have half each. They can just be one or two each if they really prefer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put metal/ground a question mark.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah.
I think we've answered that they do not have to touch the element. Because that's actually the question.
Yes.
Do they touch the element?
And
or can I create fire from thin air once I have that fire? Or was that I was going to turn up some of the body heat, which sounds very strange.
I don't know. What would be best? Being able to actually create the element or having to take it from somewhere?
I mean, I feel like creating should be more difficult.
Yeah. And I feel like because it makes a difference. Creating fire is different than creating metal.
Yes.
Or creating ground.
Yeah. I have an idea that I haven't actually written, but I have an idea that is related to this that I just want to ask about. And that, I guess, is if we briefly jump over to religion, we have 7 gods, one for each elemental side.
Yeah.
I don't want to say powers, but each
one for each element.
Element! That's the word, yes. And we talked about the like offerings and stuff to these gods, and how for the water god is like fish and it's seaweed and it's water oriented things,
Yeah.
but it's not like here's a pint of water, you know?
Yeah.
Does that also mean that you can use a fish, presumably a live one, to use the water powers? Because the reason I'm asking is I had an idea that I've then not used, but I had an idea where Lyd is in a church and there are all these different offerings to the gods because there are all the different altars there. And I wrote that and I was like, what if she uses the powers that have been like uses the things that have been offered to the gods that are on the altars, and you know, she doesn't have water power, so you can't use that one. But there are bouquets of flowers. Can't you use them to plant power? I lost steam a little bit in that sentence somewhere, but
Cool.
yeah. Or is it like it has to be water? It has to be ground, or could it be a fish?
I feel like it should be actual water, in my opinion.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Creating elements should definitely be more difficult, yes. I think you should be able to create fire, but not creating other elements.
Yeah.
And yes, if you can create metal, you can make gold and platinum and get very rich. Which is nice, I guess, but...
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a power that she will... Ooh, that would actually help her out so much, though. I want her to not figure that out for a while, and then be like, I could have done this 3 weeks ago. My life would have been so much easier 3 weeks ago.
If that is a thing we say they can do.
Yeah.
Because there's also the, like, can they turn one metal into another? Are they alchemists? Can they make gold out of iron?
No. But now I want someone in a different trial, like a different season of the trial, to be an alchemist, though. An alchemist and a botanist and a...
Cool.
That'd be cute.
Yeah. Maybe magnifying heat or light could create fire, but in cold, wet darkness they couldn't. Yeah, I was thinking something like that too.
That you can still have the elements against you.
Yeah, and like you can't create fire if you're underwater.
Huh. Yeah.
Electricity is tricky. Magnifying a static electric field. You can create that with amber. Guessing they don't have synthetic fleece clothes. No, I don't think so.
No. I like what the thing of water, though. I like Avi's saying, too. It's being hard to use the fire element in wet places.
Yeah.
Because that's actually a good question. I now have the fire power. I can use it wherever I am except underwater, question mark. Or now I'm standing on a rock in water. The rock isn't in water, but I'm surrounded by water. Is it more difficult for me to use it? Even if I've, worked out that muscle.
Yeah.
Because then that should be something that you, again, Lyd especially, and to some extent you won't know this, but then that's also what you should train.
Yeah.
Or should, but could benefit from training.
Because I'm thinking about two things. I am thinking about the scene in The Incredibles, where they are in the very beginning, where Mr. Incredible and Mr. Freeze.
I think that might be his name.
Yeah. Anyway, they're in a burning building, and I thought you could take moisture from the air. Yeah, but there is no moisture in this air. To create the ice, and in our case, water, potentially also ice. And I'm also thinking about X-Men and how Pyro can't create fire, but he can manipulate it if it's there.
Okay. But then if we're going to get like really technical about it, we now have, I've built a bonfire.
Frozone, yes. Sorry.
I've built a bonfire.
Mm.
It is like this big. It's a small bonfire.
Mhm.
I can pick up a flame from that and not burn myself, I imagine, because I have control over it. Can I then bring this flame with me as a light, as heat, as,
No.
all the things a fire can be? Can I be 15 miles away from here still carrying it and make it bigger if I'm in a, I don't want to say cave system, but like somewhere where the air, there isn't as much oxygen in the air for the fire to burn? Does that affect it? It's not oxygen I'm after, is it? Either way, like, do the surrounding, like you're talking about, does the surrounding factors play in with what I can do with my power?
Yes.
Good point. I'm sorry. I'm a little all over the place. But yes, your question was the frozen and there's no moisture in the air and how pyro can't make fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't my question. That was my like what I'm thinking about in regards to this.
Yeah.
But can they create the element and just air? Don't need to. Air is everywhere. Unless we do a science fiction version of this where they're in space.
No.
We don't need to know this.
Yes, we're talking like 3,000 years after Lyd and Neum took the throne.
Yes.
We've now exhausted the resources of the Earth and now we've flown into space. Let's colonize Mars.
Yeah. Let's see where we're at. If you could manipulate already existing fire, that would limit their use of it a lot.
Mm.
Yeah. Then again, they have a lot of other powers, so it might work if fire was unexpectedly useless.
Unexpectedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if they think they can magnify heat, and then they're caught in a very cold place and think they can't, but realize the light reflecting off the snow could be used to make fire or something. Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then we're giving AV an existential crisis.
Yes. The more I think about it, the more I'm changing my mind. I think it would be quite cool if they had to pick up fire from other sources of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you pick it up, you can do pretty much everything with it, but you have to get the spark from somewhere else. Yeah,
Sorry.
No, I kind of like that too. That like, I want there to be limitations.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean with that, like you have to pick up the fire, like a spark from somewhere,
Yeah.
or you can make fire with flintstone, and
Yeah.
in a normal way to make fire.
Yeah, I mean potentially all you need is like you need the spark, and then from that spark you can. Yeah.
So with this, can Lyd not burn the person, or can she still pull from their body heat, which is not a spark, and she doesn't create fire? How much am I gonna have to change?
I'm thinking probably not. Because that is her making heat and not actually fire.
Mm-hmm. Which is bad.
Which is different from what we've been talking about, how it works, I think.
Mm. Okay. Mm.
But air, they don't need to create it. Fire,
no.
But can enhance from a spark.
Mm-hmm. A spark.
Yes. Water, moisture in the air.
Sorry, I read the comments.
Cool.
Yeah, so water they can use more freely. It doesn't have to be raining for them to be able to use it, so they can pull moisture from the actual air.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, they probably can't make a lot without a lot of practice. They can't like pull moisture from everywhere and actually have a lot of water.
Mm.
But yeah.
No.
Earth, no.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Metal, No.
No. And they probably can't change what kind of metal it is.
No, but they might be able to, like, they can probably pull metal from a rock. If there's metal in the rock,
Yes.
they can purify the metal.
Yes. But not create. Or
Yeah.
not change.
Electricity.
That's also in the air? Question mark. Science.
Yes, and there's the whole thing where, like, we have electricity running through our bodies.
Mm-hmm. Which we talked about.
Yeah.
Which was terrifying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, electricity is everywhere.
But okay, I want to actually backtrack though.
Uh-huh.
Go back to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said you can create fire from like rubbing two sticks together or flintstone, or like you can create fire like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can also create fire with sunlight and a magnifying glass
Mm-hmm.
or a glass, like, yeah, and then that touching something flammable.
Yeah.
But does there have to be a literal spark? Or is it just like the grass beneath this magnifying glass beneath the sun is getting really, really warm? I can pull that and make it a flame. Or does it have to be a literal spark?
Doesn't have to be a literal spark, but I'm thinking if they do it like that.
I also don't know if she's carrying around magnifying glasses, but
No,
probably not.
probably not.
Nia might be.
Potentially.
Now I'm just picturing him having like a tool belt. Okay, I'm drawing this from Downton Abbey because the head of housekeeping has like it's like a chain that's buttoned to somewhere on her belt or something, and that has like multiple chains dangling down, and one has a key, and one has a pair of scissors, and one has a, useful things like that. And I'm picturing him having one of those with like a magnifying glass and a little needle and thread and a little. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if they use a magnifying glass or something, then I mean the fire has to start. It can't just be warm. But as soon as there's a little flame, they can grab that and do things with it.
Yeah.
It's my thinking.
Yeah. I like it. But electricity, like you said, you just maybe scroll a bit because it's getting difficult to see on the screen as well.
Yes. First of all, what's happening in the comments?
Because if there are people, there is almost always lanterns or torches. You can steal a flicker of the flame from there.
Yeah. And in regards to the scene, you can do something like that. I mean, if I'm thinking if there's a candle standing over here, or over here.
Yeah.
I maybe don't have to reach for it like that, especially if I practice a little bit with my powers. I can just sort of suck it towards me. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I will say that this scene that happens takes place in complete daylight, but it's fine. I'll figure it out.
Maybe there's a smithy nearby and someone's...
No, she is down by a river all alone.
Well, maybe that's her problem.
It is her problem, actually. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, in regards to that scene.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah. Electricity is everywhere? Question mark?
Yeah, that's sort of I think so. I mean, every living thing has electricity in it, because that's how we work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
science it up.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. This section, can you even see this?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. There's at least one more down here.
Yeah.
Our science books.
Yeah.
So we
have
science.
If nothing else, we can probably ask Randall Moreau.
Yeah.
And he'll
Make
explain it to us.
and yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like we have a close personal relationship with him.
Well, absolutely.
Sure.
Their power could function like a magnifying glass.
Uh-huh. Tell me more.
I mean, I don't, because yeah, I'm wondering if the air power could do that. If you could manipulate the air to like, because the air lets through light, and if you can manipulate the air to let through light in a different way and turn that into a magnifying glass, and
Sure. I feel like we're going very science heavy.
well, I like science.
I know you do. I do think being good people, they would probably traumatize themselves if they used electricity to give someone a seizure. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's worse to them. I mean, lid burning someone to get away. Yeah, I can see that happening. Her literally getting someone a seizure. No, let's not have her do that.
No.
No. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, how does one create electricity?
I will Google.
Cool. I just meant there.
It is most often generated at a power plant.
Okay.
Just carry one of those around. What's the problem?
A movement that their firepower could take a small amount of warmth or light and magnify it until it actually became fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fire. I don't know. Do we want them to be able to create fire or not? Again, I kind of like the
no.
like the yeah, the limitation that no, they can't create it. It could be a thing like with enough practice, yes, they can create it.
Yeah.
But they are not gonna get there. Maybe the ruler's gotten there.
Yeah.
And that is part of what makes him more powerful.
But then he's also started losing his powers because he's been abusing them. So
yes, well. So fire actually yes.
But also no.
Can't. Yes. Yeah.
So that means then that she cannot touch someone and make them hurt, to burn someone with her bare hands if she doesn't have a spark or a flame.
I mean, potentially that could happen if it was like a because I have written a couple of times that Neum has done things with his powers that like he doesn't know how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible like in a panic the power actually does that itself sort of to protect her, but she can't replicate it on purpose.
Yeah, I could see that. And she is doing a lot of things out of panic and fear, so
yeah,
I don't have to explain anything. Right. Yeah. Moon is saying you can rub a piece of amber with a silk cloth to make static electricity. Cool. And this is something that Neum might know. Or learn or think to look for.
Yeah.
Not like rubbing different things and see what happens, but like if he's in an archive or a library looking up specifically how to make static electricity.
Yeah.
Lyd will not think of that.
No.
But I wonder though, because she is an inventor, if she has found out a way, possibly on accident, where she created fire or where she made electricity or something.
Yeah. And
then remembers that at some point and replicates it.
Could be.
I don't really know why she would have. I mean, she also does art, so amber and silk cloth, maybe.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Amber is sort of everywhere, I was going to say, but amber isn't that difficult to find as such.
No.
Silk is a little tricky because we don't know how, like, we've kind of said that this continent, this island is very isolated with no contact with the outside world. So maybe they don't have silk. But,
We haven't really talked much about what exists in the world outside of the mainland and the archipelago.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing. But there is a possibility that there's more. There are more countries, more land and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there could be other countries that are more advanced.
Yeah.
And if silk is such a valuable type of fabric like it is to us,
Mm-hmm.
even now, that could be something that the royal family has had access to. And when her mom ran away, took something with her. That
So-
could be silk, yeah.
So it's something that the royal family then has had for hundreds of years since before they became so isolated.
I suppose. Or
Maybe.
they actually do trade with other countries.
But we've said that they're isolated and like, or I think we've said
Yeah.
that they don't have contact with anyone else.
I think we've said so too. But I don't like it. Because it goes against something I've written. I
I'm
don't
sorry?
know. I feel like it would make sense if they were isolated in a way. Because they have this magic and
Should we actually write isolation as a thing?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's
Sure.
a pretty big thing that
Sure.
maybe shouldn't.
I just thought it would be something we could give Lyd a leg up with. She has access to silk. Liam doesn't. Finally, something's going right for her. Why did you interrupt the religion?
Because I didn't know religion was there.
Yeah. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But back to electricity then.
Yes. AV thinks electricity is something that can be created by just existing. So in a way they do create it. But all they had to do was rub their feet on the ground. And then they'd have access to electricity that they could throw around. So not technically create it, but it sort of looks like they do.
Mm.
Which idea was this? What we were talking about 3 minutes ago?
I have no idea. Which idea was that, Amy? Was it the silk? That Lyd would have access to silk because of her human mom? Or... Let us know, Amy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since living things have an electric field from the nervous systems, maybe their electrical power could give them awareness. Yeah, that's true, because that's also something that I've written, that like when Liam has gotten a new power,
Mhm.
he has suddenly started feeling and seeing the world in a slightly different way. And like, I have air power now, I can sense the air around me in a way that I never could before.
Mhm.
So maybe when they get the electricity power, they become aware that, oh, there's electricity in places,
Mhm.
and they can take a little bit of that. And
Maybe. Then I have a slightly silly question. But
Uh-huh.
I'll ask anyway.
Uh-huh.
You said you could sense the air in a different way.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've written any of that, but
Uh-huh.
I see where you're coming from. Can you, after you get the metal power, sense where there is metal? Not like, the army is over there, but more so like I'm now in this cave, or I'm by these rocks, or like somewhere where metal
no.
exists naturally.
Uh-huh.
And could you be like, but I feel a tingle, and over there is a rock that has metal in it.
I think so. It would make sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm imagining Liam getting something that's very prone to static electricity and just hangs it to his belt, and all he has to do is slap his hand against it. Voila. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, that continued. Maybe they could give them awareness of proximity of people if, say, Lyd was in the dark and couldn't
That's
see.
smart.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I like that.
Yeah.
We should write that down somewhere.
Yes.
I'm stealing it for Lyd. Ha ha ha.
Okay. And Violet's making a very good point, where we could just make up something that creates electricity in this world, like something equivalent to silk that they could rub against amber, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just picturing a person named Amber, I feel very bad for her. Does this work? Does this work? How about this?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yeah.
This handwriting is beautiful.
And yes, that would be an advanced power to be able to sense things with electricity.
Yeah.
Maybe sorry.
No.
Maybe like it's when you've just gotten it, you can sort of sense things, but can't really make sense of it.
No. Yeah.
But the more practice you have, the more you can be like, oh, I actually feel the electric field of 3 people over there, and it's not just there's something over there.
Yeah, that's true.
And
then the next step is like, yeah, one of them is like short, one of them is really tall, one's a donkey.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Lyd and how she's so reluctant to use her powers.
Yeah.
And again, how 72,000 words into the story. I lied when we started streaming. I wrote like 300 words the other way. But either way, how reluctant she is to use it and how little she has used it. I can almost count on like one hand how few times she's used 72,000 words into the story.
Yeah.
And she won't really have much time to practice. I mean, she's waiting around in the water for a while before Liam shows up.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, when she alone arrives to the capital, to the ruler, and she's been tricked, but she has to stay, and like,
Yeah.
I'm picturing that as her like training montage. do, and then she starts like throwing fire around like a pyromaniac.
Yes. I mean, there's also a point to like maybe Lyd is actually less
magically inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has other talents that she uses instead, whereas Liam has more of an interest in the magical things, and so he has learned those. But they help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. It would be super satisfying if the thing used to create electricity is something is something that Lyd used in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Liam accidentally shocking himself with. Yeah. Yeah. Liam could know about how to create static electricity, and Lyd
That's her name.
Lyd could think of an invention that runs on electricity, aka starting the Industrial Revolution.
It's a steampunk novel.
I mean,
no. No.
Okay.
I mean, again, Lyd being left to her own devices in the capital, in the ruler's care, sort of.
Yeah.
And she invents the steam engine, she invents, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
It'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think that's good.
And it might be going off the rails. Now I'm thinking trains as well. So, yeah.
Cool.
Hello, Eve.
Hello, Eve. Welcome. Yes, apparently we are doing steampunky things now. Okay, electricity. They can not create it, but
it's all around them.
No, but it's everywhere, so
they don't have to.
Well, and plants, they cannot create, but like if there is a seed somewhere, they can grow a plant from it.
Mm. And if they have access to the roots, if they're close to where the roots are, they can control the further part of the.
Yes.
Oh. In Vera Brooks' Shannara books, several generations pass and their technology does advance a lot. So steampunk sequels to more traditional fantasies are totally possible. No pressure. Yeah, but you are excited to hear about the prequel idea. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. We're maybe not going to talk about it today, but also I want to talk about it, but we'll see.
We'll see. Isn't Shannara? Isn't his like sci-fi novels? Doesn't that take place in the same world, just like thousands of years later? Or is that just something that I've heard?
Sci-fi.
I don't remember what it's
Shannara.
called. Otherwhere. Something like that.
Otherwhere.
I don't know.
No, not sure.
Either way.
Yeah.
This is such a nitpick, but steam engines don't run on electricity.
I know.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, we could skip the steams.
But there's not steampunk.
It can be punk.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, Game of Thrones had pre-industrial explosives in a universe with dragons, so steam power seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm not sure that's the route I want to take with this. We're also not planning sequels, we're planning a prequel, but
Yes.
that's
Anyway,
strange.
shall we move on to the next question?
Yes.
How big are dragons?
Fairly.
Okay, cool.
Fail rate.
Fail rate.
Electric plants.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, no. Why did I... The one plant I got an image of in my mind was a Venus flytrap. They do not also mean to be electrified. But whatever. So for dragons to fly, their body has to be pretty small in relation to their wings. Yes.
Yes.
That was just a potato electricity. Are we naming more streams? Is that what we're doing?
Maybe.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes. So there's how big is their body? Big enough to ride or horse-sized? And then what about the wingspan? Yeah, because we've talked. Markus asked me, and I think I was imagining like the size of a couch or a bed, like 2 meters by a couple meters, sort of.
2 meters by a couple of meters,
Yeah.
so 2 by 2.
Sure.
Dragons are square.
It's not his fault. He's just built like that. He's chunky. Yes, I think I've been thinking of them more like that, or like a car. I'm not sure these are all equivalent one another, but then Markus was talking about Tev and Niam and stuff, and like how Tev would have to be bigger. And if we think of again dragons in like Game of Thrones, they're huge.
Yeah.
And there are things in between bed-sized, car-sized things and like Game of Thrones dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, are you talking about Dragon's World?
You have it.
I have it.
You should watch that for research, Markus.
I should.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but this is a mockumentary about a guy who discovers, they discover a dragon carcass, and then there's like, they research and how did this work, how did they fly, and at the same time we also get like the prehistoric dragons and how they evolved and stuff. It's super cool, super interesting.
Yeah. Have you seen it? I think we've seen it together.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. Let's...
Isn't there an equation for wingspan versus mass to generate lift? I don't know. You're the scientist.
There probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my point with this question was that I wasn't sure how big, like, is when Niam is riding Tev. like where is he sitting, how is he sitting, can
Sorry. Yep. Yeah.
yeah, and Tev has to be strong enough to both fly himself and for Niam to not be too big a burden.
Yeah. And up until that point in the story, in Niam's life, I don't really think that he's even like encountered horse as much. Like he's not used to riding a horse.
No.
Because I imagine if he was, then a horse-sized dragon would be easier to comprehend and like more comfortable for him to fly on. Changing the word choice here. Than like a dragon the size of a house. You know?
Yeah.
Also, Moon said, sorry, wings. Oh, scrolling back up. Eve said, wingspan 10 meters for something the size of a mini car. That is a lot of wings for not a lot of car. And there is an SFF forum online where people debate all kinds of things like that. I'll try to put it in the Discord. Cool?
Cool.
No?
Avi would also like the second violence. Why do I keep Violet?
The second or third time now.
Yes. This is fantasy, yes.
Yeah.
And we can just wing it.
Yeah, Moon pointed out the puns too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. So maybe the question is just how big do we want Tev to be?
What have you written? Because for Lyd, she's gonna meet Tev in his dragon form, but he will shift back.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if he's gonna come back in his dragon form later on. And I don't know if that matters. It depends on what you want.
Yeah.
What works best for you. Because yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, because like there's a difference between, well, say this one and that one.
Yeah, for sure. That one they pointed to now is more like Daenerys in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Where like the dragon is just approximately the size of a house.
Yes. And then we have this one where like it's more like a dragon, or more like a dragon.
More like a dragon, really. More like an ostrich.
Yes, because I'm thinking in terms of also that Niam won't have like a saddle or anything like that. He's gonna have to
cling on for dear life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what is he clinging to? Is it like this? Then he could be holding the horn, so like having his arms around the neck.
Or if there are like spikes or something on the neck, he can hold on to those.
Yeah. Whereas if it's this, he has nothing.
You have to have really, really good thigh muscles for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unless we also give the dragon like a mane, like Chinese dragons have.
Yeah.
Then he could just pull his hair while he's riding it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're really okay. Yeah, because what I was thinking too is like the larger the dragon is, Tev is, the less of a nuisance Niam is.
Yeah.
If the dragon is the size of a horse and Niam climbs on top and it's like, I don't know, a fourth, that's not quite true, but like of the weight of the dragon, that's a lot more for the dragon to deal with than if Niam is the same weight, but the dragon is 10 times as large.
Yeah.
Moon found the website, sffchronicles.com.
Cool.
Yeah. I use it for speed of dragon flight. People picking apart maps of
Alagisha.
Yeah, to determine how far Zephyr flew in a day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll look into that.
Yeah. But what have you written, Tebas, now? A dragon.
A dragon, yes.
But how large of a dragon?
I think I have lost my cursor again. There we go. Maybe not quite like this, but like maybe a little bigger than this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. which means also that Neum is quite heavy for Tev to carry.
Yeah.
Because we've said that the mass and the abilities of the shapeshifter like shifts into what the animal has.
Yeah.
But even so, Neum is going to be heavy. Here we have if you Google dragon to human size comparison, there are a few different ones, probably based on other lore or other worlds or something. Holy frickaroni. Sorry. The second row, the multicolored one. No, one to the right of that. Click on that. You see how tiny the human is? No, not that one. No. But on the far, 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 far left. And then look at the blue dragon. No. No, but looking at this, Neum is not number one. Oh, I don't even have the same one open. Sorry, I have a different one open.
Oh.
Yes. Sorry, if you minimize that one. And then which one do I have open? If you X out of that one, the open one. Why don't you have the same one as me?
Because I don't use Google.
Okay. Well, no, that is the one. Actually, no, it isn't. I'm so confused. Mine looks different.
I'm sorry. There's also this one that's a little easier to... Or would have been if it had been. Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it makes a difference.
Yes.
But you've written in sort of the size of slightly larger than a horse. Yeah, that one is not the one I have, but it works.
I think I have written him sort of like
a 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
Or somewhere between a 3 and a 6.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. And how do you describe how large he is?
I don't.
Excellent. Neum could help Tev carry him by enhancing the wind's upward thrust or something. Thrust. Like a child. Yes, that's a fair point. And he has the air power already then.
Yeah.
True.
It's a D&D graphic. Maybe.
Indeed,
I have no idea.
They just keep growing forever. Oh no. Okay.
Cool.
No.
Yeah, but for if we're using this one, maybe upwards of 6.
Yeah.
Would be the size of Tev at least.
Yeah. And then he is pretty big.
Yeah. And then that shouldn't be a huge problem for him to carry Neum.
No. But the thing is, I'd like a comparison. I'd be like, okay, is that the size of a house? Is that the size of a truck? Is that like... Because there's a big long tail too that Tev does not need to have, but...
Yeah. I mean, size of...
Because that, like, Neum is not going to climb on top of Tev without Tev, like, lowering down.
Yeah. Which I've already written that he does.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So, like this room? In a different shape. This is a square room.
Well, dragons are square, didn't we?
Fine, I guess we did.
Yeah, maybe. The size of...
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Size of a garden shed. Nah, a bit bigger than that, I think.
I also like how, the general size of a garden shed. We all know that's 4x4.
Yes.
It's square.
I wonder if it might be the size of my parents' house on the island.
Yeah, I started thinking that too.
Yeah.
Which is larger than this room.
This is larger than this room.
But that is a good comparison.
Yeah.
That I can sort of visualize.
Yeah.
And
obviously everyone else can as well. Right?
You can just put that. Like the size of someone's house on an island. And then you could be like, Tev gets a wound because someone hurts him. Like, yeah, near where the washing machine would be. He now had a cut. No?
Yes.
I feel like I'm good at this.
And the cut is the size of the window in the big bedroom.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. It's huge. Wow.
I meant the narrow window.
Oh, the narrow. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Do you think your parents would be fine with just a lot of pictures of their house just like cropping up in this book?
Yeah.
We'll send it like as a companion to the first 100 people.
Moving on. Side notes, read dragon flight. Bats and some birds and also some long-range ballistic missiles do a thing where they dip and swoop.
Dip and swoop.
Dip and swoop.
Have you had sugar?
Yes.
Good.
They use their own weight falling in the dips as momentum forward when they level out again.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some birds do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not size-shifting dragons?
Yes. The thing with that is that we've said, because Tev is actually a shapeshifter who has a human form and then is shifted into dragon.
Yeah.
And granted, he does not shift on his own accord, he is shifted into one. But when the shapeshifters can shift into a horse, but they can't adjust what the horse looks like.
No.
So I'm guessing that he doesn't actually have control over that. Although that would be adorable if he could shrink and be the size of Bodhi.
Yes. I was thinking, like, if that's an ability that dragons have, then he should have it as a dragon.
Yes. That would be that would be smart, though. Like, when he's flying alone, he could be smaller, because it takes him longer to get somewhere, but also people can't see him.
Oh.
Or they can see him, but not, say, his dragon. And he has to be larger when Tev is there, because when Nia is there, because weight and distribution and stuff. But then he could shrink. What if he could shrink into like the size of like an orange or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm just thinking, like, what would, like, because Tev probably doesn't know this because dragons are extinct.
Yeah.
But what if that just happens and, like, he is embarrassed or scared or something, and then all of a sudden he shrinks?
That would be adorable.
Yeah.
I'm only a little worried that, like, because the first time he is introduced as a dragon, he's gonna be scared.
Yeah.
He could just shrink out of his shackles.
But then maybe the shackles are the ones that Lid made that stops shapeshifting, which might work for size shifting as well.
You're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're smart.
And also, like, he might be scared, but in a different way.
Yeah.
This is a scared where I want to be big and powerful so I can scare away the things that are scary. But in another case, where, like, now I'm being attacked, I want to be... Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm just like, if he shrinks to the size of, like, a clementine more than an orange, is what I was thinking, then he is small enough to ride Bodhi.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah.
Cool.
I love that after all this discussion, the answer written down is still fairly.
Yes, that.
I mean, if they can change their size, they're fairly big.
Yes.
Depends on what you compare them to. Reminds me of Mostly Harmless. They're unfairly big.
Yes.
Oh. Yep.
But yeah, I do like the
shape-shifting?
The size shifting.
The size shifting, yes. And they can do it voluntarily, but Tem hasn't figured that out.
Yeah.
So he, in the first time, does it involuntarily.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually really smart. How did they go extinct?
Maybe they didn't. They just don't exist here anymore.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
We need a drawing of this. I'm assuming that's the house.
Yes.
We will talk to them.
If we take a picture of that house and then send it to Noel, and then Noel can make a drawing that is maybe not exactly their house, but like sort of, and then compared to the dragon, and then different sizes of dragons. Just saying.
Just saying.
Could maybe
Commission
this? Yeah. We can pay in what was it? Cheetos? Nachos?
I don't remember. We don't have Cheetos, but we're not gonna. We can. Ostkrokar.
Yes.
Yes. The Swedish equivalent. We can send some of that over, which we
Yeah.
also don't eat, but.
Yeah, and apparently Noel is amazing at drawing dragons.
Yeah. Also,
So-
I do just want to say that we fully support paying artists for
Yes,
real.
absolutely.
Yes.
If we do this for real, we will definitely pay with money and not
Not
nachos.
Yes, it just as a side note that we actually support the artists.
Yes.
Earth has been reclassified. We are no longer mostly harmless. Extra magic for dragon those. Dragons though, because they be dragons.
Yeah.
Shrinking dragon would be extremely adorable. Maybe shapeshifters are a cousin of dragons.
Ooh. Shapeshifters are actually like the descendants from dragons and humans.
I'm getting Shrek, donkey and dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
babies. I don't want to talk about the biology panel.
Yeah.
Then when Tim gets the hang of it, he grows into an enormous size to scare someone.
Yes.
I'm just like thinking of the map right now and being like, yeah, he takes up the entire north half of the.
Well, I mean,
Content.
I didn't want to copy it. I wanted to see it.
Show it to me. It could be
Dragon.
True. And that's a fairly large one.
Yeah. And fairly large. I mean, it's half the size of a
It's
mountain.
fairly large. That's including wings, though.
Okay.
We didn't talk about. Someone mentioned wingspan
Yes.
and the wingspan compared to the body and stuff.
Yes.
But is it okay that we just leave that up to you, Marcus, and you write? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want him to be the caterpillar from A Bug's Life who has like barely wings, but well, bumblebees don't know that they're not supposed to be able to fly.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we can leave that.
I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can, but if he changes size, I figured.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Although I do picture Niam like fully measuring Tev by being like, hey, just put your wings out and I'm gonna like steg up.
Yeah.
Step measure.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking the size of a city, but imagine if it was the size of the North Continent. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And we were worried that earthquakes might not exist. I'm just like, Tev shifts into a very, very large size and then he lands just a little bit too hard. I'm like, oh, we didn't have a valley here before, but thank you, I guess.
Yes. Maybe there is some sort of a limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying. Anyway, shall we go on to talk about puns?
Yes.
Does anyone have, like, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but like puns that Niam can have be stupid about?
I'm not gonna be stupid.
Okay. Huh?
I googled map puns.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, I purchased a world map and put it on the wall in the kitchen. I gave my wife a dart and said, throw this, and wherever it lands, I'll take you there for holiday. Turns out we're spending 3 weeks behind the fridge. It's not really a pun, but it's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this. I just if anyone had a pun.
Yeah, pertaining to something that would be. There's a website called Punstoppable. I'm just saying. Map puns are legendary.
Cool.
What do you call a reptile with a map?
I don't know.
A navigator. That's a good follow-up to my favorite joke. What do you call an alligator who's wearing a vest? An investigator.
As in the legend on a map. Yeah, I yes.
Mm-hmm.
There are cardinal sorts of puns. Cardinal directions. Maybe it's that I don't know map terms well enough.
Yeah. My wife and I went hiking and got lost. I lost my temper and she was so upset she threw the map at me. Now I know where we stand. What do you call someone that hates reading but loves looking at maps?
I don't know.
A mapsicist? What about archive puns?
I don't know. What about archive puns?
This won't work for the story.
Uh-huh.
Where did Noah put the beast on the ark? In the archives. That was actually funny.
Yes.
How? Yes, archive puns. I was going to say Noel. Noel is actually not part of the story. Liam is an archivist in the beginning of this.
He's always an archivist.
Yes, true. The archives.
Yes. I will just copy this and
Yeah.
spend too much time on it after a while.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to this question, which
We maybe should have opened with. No?
I don't know, should we have?
No.
I'm just wondering, the question here is not actually do we call it electricity or lightning?
No.
It is do they call it electricity or lightning?
Yeah. Because I've been calling it electricity in my story. But what she actually encounters during the trial is lightning.
Yeah. And I'm thinking since they don't have electricity as such, maybe they don't really have the term electricity. Maybe that is a very, very scientific term.
Uh-huh.
But they would most likely just call everything that is electric lightning.
Yeah.
Sort of.
That's fair. And we can still know it's electricity.
Yeah.
But they use the quote unquote wrong term for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
Huh?
I've never met a that I didn't like.
We are breaking Marcus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If you get zapped and don't know better, what would you call it? Probably not zapped. No. I would call it a hurt.
The hurt power.
Yes. Power used to hurt people because seizures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to excuse myself for a minute, but I don't really care either which way. I would be totally fine with calling it the lightning power instead of the electricity power.
Yeah.
That's
Because I'm thinking, get zapped and don't know better. Zappy power. Spark power. But I was thinking lightning because you may go.
Thank
I was thinking lightning because it comes from the lightning mountain And the whole thing is that you need to avoid the lightning in order to get this power, and they might only, like, the only term they might have for it could be potentially be lightning. Buzz. The power of buzz. I like it. Pain, agony. Maybe finding old word that works. What if I lightning synonym? Just to see if there's energetic, rush, ultra fast. This is just for lightning speed. Slow. Well, that's just unhelpful. Synonyms and antonyms for lightning. Bolt. Fulmination. Sure, I'm sure that's what they would call it. Yeah, electricity, a synonym. 17 synonyms. Heat, service, current, spark, ignition, electron, voltage, current. But the current power sounds weird. So, electric. Electrical, magnetic. Voltage, rousing, stirring. The Latin name for amber is electrum. Huh, did not know that. Because of the static thing, yeah. Connected to a term elector, meaning beaming sun. Striker. Strike power. Striking power. Current can work depending on how you use it. Yeah, in a way, but I don't know what wields the power of the current, controls the current rush through them, at them. I mean, the thing is, I kind of like it, but also that makes me think about water, current in water. So that's, yeah, it can be a little bit. It can mean many things. I'm trying to think of the word in English and I cannot, so we'll ignore that. Google what it is. Ambiguous. That was the word I was after. What was static electricity called before electricity? I don't know. Also, you could have Neum, who's more well-read, call it electricity, and Lyd, who bases it more on experiences, call it lightning. That's true. Current of electricity flowing through you could feel like getting knocked on your ass by the powerful current of water. Yeah. Spell it with a K. Nah. I don't know. I mean, it could also be sort of like what AV said, that it's officially, maybe it's called electricity, but in day-to-day life, if you talk about it, it's more lightning. Okay. Thinking of the fruit. Is a fruit? I don't know fruits. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think that if it could be it could be officially called electricity because that is, the scientific word for it. But I think maybe most people in this kind of world where they don't have electric things wouldn't really understand the word electricity and just use lightning because that's what they are familiar with, is my thinking. Unless we think of a different name that works, in which case let us know in the Discord and we will look at it, maybe use it. We will, yes. I'm waiting for Matilda to come back so I can open the door because I'm very, very warm, which is part of why I'm distracted. I'm also waiting for Matilda because the next thing is periods, which is not a thing that I think Niam is overly concerned with in the grand scheme of things. Because I don't think that there are any periods that affect him in this journey. So, yeah. Hello.
Hello. Everything okay?
Yes.
It was very quiet when I came back.
Yes. I was waiting for you to come back because I don't feel like periods is really my thing to discuss here.
Yes.
Yes. Avi is also wondering why Octopus is on the list.
We will talk about it. We will talk about why Octopus on the list.
Yes.
What did I miss?
We had a bunch of different suggestions for what to call the electricity power. I sort of liked current, but that's also water, and so yeah. For now I'm saying that if it's officially called electricity, but most people don't know what electricity is because that's not something that exists in everyday life.
Okay.
And so they are just familiar with lightning, so that's what they call it.
Okay. So Lid and Niam will call it lightning.
Probably.
Oh, or at least Lid.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then periods.
Periods. Yes.
I'm also going to open the door
and hope they're not smoking.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. The reason I wrote down periods is because we talked about time tracking, and wow, I just went really, really white.
Sorry.
That's fine. We talked about how they would track time, and do they have a concept of what a week is, or is a week the same length we have, and so on. Their months are 28 days long. We did say that.
Yeah.
So they have 56 days from waking up with the power to having to completed all of the trials. And then
also something that I want to add because yeah.
And then I had the idea that Lid could track her periods, because if we say that periods are approximately 28 days long, it can be anything from 21 to 38, but like somewhere in that zone, that would be a pretty good way for her to track time.
Yeah.
If you hear that, that's children.
Yes.
8 floors below.
If that annoys you, we will close the door again.
Yeah, we have a playground outside.
Yeah.
But I thought she could track periods, and then that could also be a thing of like she gets her second period of the story, and it's like, I am really close to running out of time.
No.
Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I feel like that's good.
No.
I feel like yes. Well, maybe it's different with other people's kids. There's a saying in Swedish. I don't know if there is an equivalent saying in English,
Mhm.
but in Swedish, there's a saying that is egna barn, andras ungar,
Yeah,
which roughly translates to your own kids and other people's brats.
sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's not quite as harsh as brats, but
yeah. But barn is a much more endearing term of saying children
yeah,
than ungar is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea is anyway that what my kids are doing is great, but other people's brats are just being brats.
Yep.
And so maybe it annoys you when other kids do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Eve thought that there was a children outside of my house. Okay.
I don't think they were quite that loud to be heard to where you live, but what do I know?
And I agree. Distant shrieking children sound a lot like seagulls.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. Anyway.
Amy likes the idea.
Yeah.
Eve is asking, do you still call them periods? I have questioned that too, because I just wrote her getting her second period. And I have not written her getting her first one, because I didn't think of this at that point in the story. So I think I wrote period, but then I was like, my monthly bleed, or my bleed, or something like that. This stupid bloody thing. So I haven't really picked a term for it. It definitely does not have to be periods. I don't like the word periods, really. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea of its periods being included, but my concern is that it would be a hard thing to change if you need to shorten the deadline or whatever to make things fit better.
Yeah. But then I'm thinking that could be like if it's not two exact periods.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one period and then ovulation.
Yeah.
If she has cramps during ovulation, for example,
yeah,
she can know that. Or like, no, that's not those cramps, right?
Yeah.
I still have time.
How many days? And then it's been, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be a fun thing to track. Never like a thing that makes sense for her to keep track of.
No.
In general. And that is a time-sensitive thing, sort of.
Yeah.
But it could definitely be ovulation pains or actual period cramps or stuff. That, yeah. And we'll see how much, because it would work. It would be a positive for her to be able to track time in a like without, instead of waking up and like drawing a line on something, like counting the days that way. She would be like, oh, it's been a month since my last cycle or something. It would be something that would be useful for her.
No.
It doesn't actually affect the story.
No.
So if it doesn't end up being used, if we don't like it, if it doesn't add anything, whatever, I'm totally fine with scrapping it.
Yeah.
But
I also feel like you can still include her periods even if it's not a way for her to track time.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, what if she doesn't have regular periods?
Yep.
And like,
I thought that too.
This is the second period, but wait, how long has it been since last time?
Didn't it just end like last Tuesday? Yeah. Yay, hormone imbalance. And other things. I could call it a cycle, lifeblood, moon blood, time of life. Yeah. Yeah, I've also seen menses or menses. I don't know how to say that. Used in English. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot, was the moon behaving normally in this world? We have not talked about the moon. Pretty sure there is one.
Yeah.
But we haven't actually talked about it. So let's say it works normally.
I think so.
Yeah. I love the moon thing.
Of course you love the moon thing.
Also the next comment, or I shouldn't have eaten those berries.
Yes.
The Lid suffers from both periods and IBS. It's just like constant. Yeah. Are there fantasy tampons? Or is this shoving sheepwolves into your pants kind of a thing, kind of dealing with it? Yeah, that's also a thing I started, because she gets those cramps as she's almost into a city. Like it's on the horizon and she gets the cramp and she's like, I know exactly what this is. Been through this before. And then she's like, I really should get changed, or I should, do something to prevent bleeding all over. But I can't really do that right now, right here in the open.
Can't you just hold it in?
No, that's not how it works. Okay, side note. I saw this being debated. I don't know where it was. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think it might have been Ireland. I could be completely wrong. Where they were discussing in Parliament or in a council or something if period products should be free.
Mm-hmm.
And if that, or either removing the tax on them, or if they should be free, or if they were going to be free, like in the schools,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And there was a man,
Of course there was.
who went, well, if I just shit my pants, then should we be providing new underwear and pants to people? And it's like, I mean, that would be horrible if that happened to you. I'm very, very sorry. And I understand that is a bodily function that sometimes you can't control it. I get that. But you cannot hold in your period.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
Fantasy tampons sound amazing.
No.
What if there are 2 moons? AV, no. Think of all the periods.
I don't think periods are actually related to the moon.
Fine.
But I'm a man, what do I know?
Yeah.
I've had periods, so I know some things.
Yeah. Because if the moon is not in sync with periods, there would be no reason to connect those dots. Fair enough. Unless it's a moon cycle. Yeah. That's true. But I mean, we still... okay, fine. I'm thinking like, not a moon cycle as in period. I'm thinking a moon cycle as in time.
Uh-huh.
And if you have a period once every something of the moon, even if not everyone has it on the full moon, you still have it at the same... If you have a regular cycle, you still have it at the same moon phase. We're getting too into this.
I mean, no. That's only if you... Or that's only if you have a 28-day cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's regular and if it's 28 days and if every month is 28 days,
Yeah.
then you will always bleed at the same time of the moon cycle.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she will definitely have brought supplies for that. So I think that could be a thing if she has fantasy tampons. Yeah.
Yeah. She loses her supplies, though.
She's lost her supplies about 4 times.
So maybe she didn't think to buy new tampons
to
every
be
time.
fair, maybe not, and especially if she doesn't have a regular one. And she's like, okay, I have like this much money. I need to find food and shoes and like, whatever to keep me warm and surviving.
Yeah.
Maybe not buying fantasy tampons is the thing. Think of all the werewolves. That's a better point, Moon. Yes.
Yes.
It was a ye old correlation. They don't have to line up. It's interesting that they follow the same pattern, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. Special moss.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
the takeaway from this is periods. Yes, to tract, not necessarily. I can never spell this word. There are too many S's, right? Is that the problem? Too many C's. Fine. Not necessarily needed for the story. We'll see if it gets removed. Right?
Yeah.
Irregular cycle, ? Fantasy tampons, ? Special moss.
magical moon moss.
Magical moon moss, yes.
I like it.
And what's it called?
Yeah.
We had menses, we had moon cycle, life cycle, bleed.
Moon blood.
Huh?
Moon blood.
Moon blood. Yeah.
Time of life.
Oh, that was not life cycle. That was not actually. That's something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And cool. Thank you for putting that image in my head, even.
Well, we do have the thing of the ruler and his. That's not where that goes. His leeches.
Yes. Yeah.
We are not talking about the special one.
I mean, I can totally see this. Yes, absolutely. But no. Yeah.
Sorry, I just have a thing that I don't actually have to look up right now, but
Okay.
yeah, you can actually. This is a side note. I'm sorry if anyone is. Yeah, this is too gross for anyone. But you can fertilize plants with period blood.
Yes.
They're full of nutrients.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Yes.
No, sorry, I read ahead. She could also bond with humans if other women help. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want it to be women only bond over two things kind of thing. But true. Bonding.
And like Moon says, I like the idea, but maybe it can be a jumping off point for connection about something else. Which is not how handsome a man is. Okay, cool.
Jumping off point for something else. Yeah.
No?
I'll see what I can do with that.
Yeah.
Also, Eve, I feel like you're just taking that and running with it. And yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I need on periods.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
what exactly does Neum research / find out in the archive?
Maybe he just misses it.
Yes. However,
Mm-hmm.
The plot.
Z.
Yes. All we have here is that Neum asks to be taken to a town where there's a large archive, and he does his research there, and then he gets done with his research.
That's the ideal way for things to go, really. You start something and you finish it.
Yes. But what is he researching? What does he find out? What is the point?
I mean, I think we talked about he was at some point going to find out there were two people on the quest.
Yeah.
And it could be looking into that. It could be looking into old histories, old tales about the quests in the past.
Yeah.
We talked about the royal family, which he at some point thought he was going to be a part of, and now he's not sure, but maybe he is, but maybe he isn't.
Yeah.
Maybe researching ways to make electricity.
Yes. Because the thing I have written is that he talks to his friend Annery before he goes into Inferno Valley, and she sends him to this place.
To this archive city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To Neum is asking about a specific person in the past who is like, there are legends about, this person that tricked the gods into giving them power and tried to usurp the throne.
Yeah.
Which is what he goes to Annery to ask about, because she's into fairy tales and this is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And then she tells him what she knows and then sends him on to this archive, to a friend of hers in the archive, who can tell him more. Maybe.
So then it's research about the past quests, the gods, the powers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what he wants to know is, why does he have these powers?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking both for his own sake and for, like, if I'm gonna take the throne.
Yeah.
Are people gonna follow me? Do I need to explain that I'm not evil like this person?
Yeah.
Things are happening in the chat.
Yeah.
Stuff about the royal family, lineage, artifacts. Yeah,
Mhm.
history of the lands, and elemental trials, regalia, and the spare heirs.
Yeah.
And then just dual rule of the spare heir with a flower power.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
What questions have you been wondering or worrying about while traveling? How to survive without having to do all the trials. Didn't think of that one.
No.
And yes, goes looking for one thing and finds another. Is
Yeah.
that's good. I think I would like. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a band name. Yes. Anyone want to start a band? I can play the recorder.
I can not.
Is this where it finds out about the original story about how there were two rulers and that hasn't been the case in a long while and that all this information has been getting erased? Yeah, I think he was gonna find out at least some of that here.
I mean, he needs to find that out soon because he needs to tell Lid about it.
Yeah.
And he's not that far off from meeting her.
No.
And she will not find out about it.
Yeah. You're the backup dancer.
I like how reading that as like secondary dancer. There's the actual dancer on like the spare, on like the backup when they can't go on.
The spare heir.
Spare heir. I am the spare heir of this band. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, but to Moon's question, what has he been wondering or worrying about
while traveling? A lot of stuff. Surviving, mushrooms, dragons.
Yes. I mean, I think his main concern is, why do I have this power? Or why am I on this quest?
Yeah.
Because I'm not. Yes. I'm not related to the royal family.
I mean, I kind of feel like that could be something that's in the back of his mind this whole time.
Yeah.
Because he does hear, he is told at some point that that the previous heir who went on the quest has been found dead.
Yeah.
And then he also hears that no one else has been sent out. There's probably a bastard somewhere.
Yeah.
So that could still be, even if he doesn't really believe it, maybe he has vague memories of his parents or something.
Yeah.
But it could still be are my parents, or like.
Yeah.
So what he comes here and starts looking at is the royal family lineage, and has there been a hint about bastards before, and stuff like that, and then that leads him into the quest itself and previous ruler, like. And then I was trying to get back to something that you said before that I now lost.
Cool.
But then he finds that, like, he looks into the royal family, and is there a possibility I'm a descendant, and then previous quests, and then has anyone survived without doing all the trials, and like.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering, like, the researching the royal family and their lineage, that is probably something he should do at his own archive.
If you have the time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably where the information is.
Fair, because that's the royal archive, or the capital archives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But depending on, I mean, I know an archive is supposed to store a bunch of information and not dispose of it.
Yeah.
But the ruler and previous rulers might have wanted certain parts of the history erased.
Yes. And
that might be things that he could find at this other archive. Maybe their copies survived. Maybe things were brought there instead. Yeah, I mean, if say he does research, he tries to research in his own archive in the beginning. And then he researched lineage primarily. Yeah. To see if he's related to the rulers. Finds holes in the history. Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. People not in the family tree that he knows about, or it was never told what this person went on to do, or
Yeah,
stuff like that.
like there are things missing
Mhm.
in the history of the rulers.
Yeah.
And then he. Sorry, I want to look at the chat for a bit. You have joined the band. Yes, Eve can play the baritone horn. So we Liam can also research dragons. That's true.
Yeah. No reason. I just want to look into that imaginary.
Yeah. Goes to find out how's in the family and finds the truth about spares and not being related. Yeah. Also finds out about reverse mermaids, obviously.
Wouldn't expect anything less from you, Violet.
Yep. And yeah, you did miss the reverse mermaids on Thursday.
Right.
You should have been there.
Right. Just quickly. Liv has injured her arm. No, we'll get to that. Never mind. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe his parents are from this town and he knows this, which is the reason why he came there, because his parents' lineage is recorded in this article. That's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kyrkoarkiv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he researched the ruler's lineage in the capital and his own here. That's true.
Yeah.
Also, his family is from this town, so he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And then also maybe researches dragons.
Yeah.
The point is his lineage and the rulers does not add up. But he still found the holes and the gaps and things missing in the royal lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did also the
Trial.
myth of the
Fair.
person who stole powers.
Yeah.
Because again, that is what he talked to Anne about.
Yeah.
And if that myth exists, obviously he will want to know what was that. Was that person related to the royal family or to me? Like maybe that's a thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the kids sound like ducks instead.
Yes.
There was the thing of has anyone survived without doing all the trials? If you want that too.
Yeah. Finds out.
Oh, a spell check is really fun.
Finds out that there should be 2 rulers, 1 commoner and 1 royal.
Exactly. He needs to find that out then.
Yeah.
If not earlier.
Yeah.
Because Liv will not.
Yeah. So he goes there in order to research his own family, because they're from this town, and the myth of the person who stole the powers, because Anna sent him there to do that.
Yeah.
And while he's there, he's also looking for the holes in the ruling family history that he found.
Yeah, to see if anything in this archive fills those gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at whether anyone has survived without doing all the trials, maybe, and also dragons, just because dragons. And
I'd research them too. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay, then I have I know a little bit better what I'm doing there.
I mean, I think those are good things too.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them, but there's something there.
Yeah.
That could
at least now I know like what is his point with going there.
Yeah, it's not just a plot, buy some time or like spend some time there. Yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the octopus?
To the octopus, yes, that we were all so confused about.
Yes.
This is related to, you can pull up Moon's comments, related to Lid being injured. So Lid got really injured. Her arm is almost not attached anymore, which is bad. And this will transfer into any other shape she takes on. That arm, wing, leg, whatever, will be injured. And then I was like, that's not going to be fun for her when she does her water trial, because water and swimming and arm. And then Moon suggested, we started talking about if she turns into a fish, because fish don't have arms, but fish have fins. And then, well, how much does a fish actually use their fin to steer? Does they do that with their tail instead, and so on. And then Moon suggested that she could turn into an octopus, because then she would have more arms. But would she then have tentacles? But would she then have 2 injured tentacles instead?
No, they're arms.
They're arms.
Yeah.
Okay. Would she then have 2 injured arms, because percentage-wise, or stuff? So I'm not actually sure that octopus is something we need to talk about. But yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. Are you okay out there?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. We haven't figured out what the water trial is, have we?
No.
So maybe that's something we can actually just wait and see what she needs to be able to do.
No.
And adjust accordingly.
No.
Okay.
Cool. Then
Wait and see.
roads.
Roads. That was also my point. Do you have the map somewhere?
I do have that.
We don't have any roads on this map.
No.
And I assume that some roads exist.
I would hope so.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
But how road dense is this place? Because they also said like Lid and Tev and Niam, but Lid and Tev are sneaking around. I mean, a lot of the time in Inferno Valley, they're not really wanting to be around people. They're kind of trying, kind of hiding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they would keep off the roads, but just in general, a question of, are there roads?
Yeah.
That there are roads to and from the capital, yes. But how many roads are up here in the north of the mountain that divides?
I imagine there are no roads in Inferno Valley.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I'm thinking from the port city on the left, where they dock, yeah, and down to the city down by the mountain. There's more cities in this, but
yeah,
like there are roads there.
Yeah.
And then from...
I need to excuse myself a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do like Amy's suggestion of elemental roads.
Yes.
Why did you laugh? I meant that.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, but I can't point to the map now, but like the purple needle on the right-hand side, north of Inferno Valley, that is where Lynn does her air trial, and then there's a city at the edge there and the city up there. And like, I assume roads exist, but are there like main roads or are there smaller roads? How likely is it that you're going to get ambushed on the roads and attacked by thieves? Stuff like that. Lid doesn't need any more things to go wrong for her. I do not need an ambush to happen, but just like, is that a thing of like, oh, don't travel on this road in the middle of the night because that's where the thieves are, kind of thing. Violet likes the idea of one main ruler's road and then just little paths. Yeah. Yeah, but the ruler's road probably won't go north of this big mountain below Inferno Valley, is what I'm thinking. Not sure though. Roads.
Roads. Smoking.
No smoking roads. Roads.
Yes.
Are there like roads where you can get ambushed? Are there things that like don't go on this road in the middle of the night? You will be thieved from. Violet said I like the idea of one main ruler's road and then just little paths. And I said that maybe the ruler's road will not go north of the mountain separating Inferno Valley from the south.
Mm-hmm.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And bandits could be fun.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I imagine there would be one larger road going north, but some roads might be whatever be what Southerners would consider paths. So you got yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, if we're thinking a bit historically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it makes sense to have roads going from city to city.
Yeah.
But then it's more like paths going off that road and to like
Villages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big road would probably be the only one that has like is officially maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing to think about. Are the roads maintained by the rulers' people?
Yeah.
Or are they? Yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really. I've mentioned there is a road that she gets to after the air trial before the city.
Yeah.
And like I think roads should be a thing. I don't actually have a great need for that. Like there's nothing road oriented in my story that I need help with. It was just more something I thought like we haven't talked about roads.
No.
And that should be a thing that we consider. And is there a king's road or a ruler's road?
Yeah.
Or not? And how does it work?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Neum has been a fair bit on the roads or beside the roads.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine there are roads, but maybe they're also kind of poorly maintained now that the ruler has gone evil.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that people are annoyed with.
Yeah.
The big roads are maintained, but the paths are handled by the locals or left to be overgrown.
Yeah.
Same with bridges. That's a good point too.
Yeah. Okay, so there are main roads.
Yeah.
And they are maintained by the ruler people.
Yeah.
Smaller, more paths, or the old roads are handled by the locals.
Yeah.
And potentially more overgrown and less tended to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then, would the old roads be the big roads or the small roads?
Has the capital always been where it is?
I don't know. But probably, or at least for a long time, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because then it makes sense that if that's been the capital for 300 years, then there should be no old road to the capital that is younger than 300 years.
Yeah.
And assuming that they've kept trading mostly with the same cities, and like those should be the roads that are more maintained.
Yeah.
I was thinking if the old capital was the archive city up in the north, for example, then there could probably be good old roads leading to and from there. But they are now, when they moved the capital, those sort of fell out of favor.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Ignoring that. Yeah.
Violet meant that small ones are the old ones, the
Yeah.
people's roads.
Yeah.
The rulers' roads and the people's roads.
Yeah.
Mean.
Yeah, sure. I like the idea of the ruler not maintaining the roads very well.
Yeah.
It would be a good mellow sign of his evilness.
Yeah.
I agree. And I have read Going in Stars. Yes, I read it in like March, I think.
Yeah. There's a question later on of whether there's something nefarious going on about cartographers,
Those ones, yes.
etc. So if roads were unmaintained in certain areas to make it difficult to get to a place where answers could be found. Yeah.
Interesting.
That would fit up with the cover-up involving cartographers.
Mm-hmm.
What was the previous capital used to be in Inferno Valley?
Maybe. Yeah. Again, I don't need a solution for it like that. Like I don't have a need for it for the story right now, but we should decide how the roads work.
Yeah.
We don't have to get super sucked into it, I'm thinking, but
yeah, but for us as a wrong one. There are roads. There are some larger roads that are/should be maintained by the ruler or the ruler people.
Yeah.
And they are currently not, because the ruler is evil and doesn't want to spend money on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And potentially there are some roads that used to be well maintained but are not, because they're leading to what Moon said, leading to places where there's information, the ruler/the ruling family / those people.
If we're
Conspiracy
going
people.
with that conspiracy thing at all, but yeah.
But
aren't these lead to information the ruler would rather keep buried?
Buried.
I don't know why I always think it's 2 R's in buried.
I don't know.
There are 2 R's in bury. To bury someone.
No.
Huh.
2 R's in berries, as in eating.
Yes, that I know.
Om nom noms.
Sure.
You
should buy
burrow
ourselves.
into the ground. That has 2.
Whatever. English language is stupid. So is the Swedish language. So
All languages are stupid.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And did we want to call them the Ruler's Road and the People's Road or something?
I mean, if nothing else, like in
Slime or like what they
that's what people call them.
Yeah.
But maybe officially they have other names.
Yeah.
Again, kind of like the elemental names. This is the fire road and the metal road and stuff.
Yeah. Question with that though.
Hmm?
Because now that I've been thinking roads, I've been thinking like long distance roads, this
Mhm.
city to that city.
Yeah.
Not street names.
Yeah.
Would there be a road named Fire Road? Or should there be a street in the capital named Fire Road?
I was thinking if there are, like, say there are 7 roads or something that are maintained by the rulers, and that they are called, this is the fire road.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And now right now there are only 6 roads maintained by the ruler. The 7th one has disappeared. Yeah, no, there never was a metal road. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's move on into the conspiracy.
Yay, conspiracies.
And this was what I talked about in my update video of how it was sort of alluded to that something bad had happened to someone's mother who was a cartographer.
Mhm.
And they got to her. She didn't get out. Those sorts of phrases.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not something we have to use, but I've been worrying. I've been wondering if that's a thing, if there is something that cartographers know or did know, and now maps are forbidden, or like cartography is evil according to the ruler, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which could be fun.
Yeah.
It would add subplots.
That we maybe don't need, given the current length of the story.
But also that but also that we maybe do need, because I feel like we are lacking in subplots in this story.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. If cartographer knows something about where something is,
Yeah.
yes. Just X marks the spot.
Why does X mark the spot? Why didn't they mark the spot with G? Because then no one
No
would
one
find
finds
it. Or no men would find it at least.
It might be something they used to know that the younger generation would be in danger of finding out, so cartography is discouraged. It could be a group or family or a rebellious branch of the church or archive. I'd rather have that be the archive because the church is kind of evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
The location of an old monument of the two rulers. That would make sense.
Location of the old capital, where everything is made to be for two rulers.
Yeah. Is that where the artifacts are? Or the regalia, I mean. Regalia, I still have not figured that out. Maybe.
Maybe?
Even I wants to hear the song Inferno Road sung by Ed Sheeran. I thought you might want to hear Inferno Road sung by the duo Rule of Spare Air and their Flower Power.
Yes.
But yeah, but maybe an old city. And then this is also something you could find.
Yeah.
I just like how useless lit is for these side plots. Really not involved at all. But yeah, it could be display cases for 2 sets of regalia and 2 thrones, etc.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Whole hidden city would be really cool.
It would be really cool. Maybe it's okay. We have set. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
I'm just thinking like 2 big glass display cages.
Yep.
Cases, not cages.
Cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Hidden City 2 Thrones. Or banned. Yeah, no, we did say that the it's the gods that are behind the trials. The gods set them up and stuff. What if Inferno Valley has been created to protect what's underneath? And before the fire, maybe there never used to be an Inferno Valley before. There used to be the fire ground and plague trials, but they used to be in other locations, just like the others are spread out. But to protect this hidden city or something, Inferno Valley was like created to something. We are just expanding the plot now because then Lid and Liam need to go there as well, and
yes,
I'm starting to feel like this is a duology. Honestly, but
could be.
Yeah. I do really like the idea of a hidden city, though.
Yeah.
What if it's okay? What if the hidden city is under the water? What's
so Atlantis?
Yeah. What if that's what they dive for? Dive for, not die for.
It's to die for.
What if that's what they dive for? And again, the water trial is different for everyone.
No.
This does not go hand in hand with my Inferno Valley thing, but the water trial is different for everyone. The rulers set it, the gods set it up.
No.
And what if the gods are like, yeah, you guys are worthy. You need to uncover this. You too, Liam and Lid.
No.
It's to dive for.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
I don't really know what sank it. I don't know how that happened. Did the gods do it? Did the ruler do it? How many hundreds of years has it been gone? And so on.
Yeah.
But it could be a case of like back in the history, if we go back 1,000 years, where there were 2 rulers and the capital was where that red needle on the map is, sort of. and then when the royal ruling family got too powerful or too power hungry or whatever, they somehow sank it and buried all the, proof of it. All old commoner heirs, commoner rulers died with it, or, their watery grave. The city is sunken. Few artifacts survived. And if they then ended up in that archive, I'm pointing over there, that makes sense. That they did not transfer to a new capital. Round of applause for how bright I am. Thank you. No, but it's not a bad idea.
No.
How it sank, what happened, but also they got too power hungry. Chat for a second, sorry.
Yes. The real challenge is making the map to find it. Maybe. And the hunt for cartographer is to get rid of the last people who might know of it or have maps of the previous world map. Yeah. They follow an old road that's not on any map and it just ends at a cliff. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't have to be that it was at sea level and the ocean rose.
No.
It could just be that, no, we chopped this piece of cliff off.
Yeah, I'm thinking if it's here, this used to be bigger
or connected to up north or up south or
That's
then they got
cool.
some power tools and like a big drill.
Yes.
Not power tools. Ring, this is my screwdriver. Funny.
Yes, each challenge there are little hints leading the way. I like that. I like it. People are applauding you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I do think it was smart. Scrolling back up though, I feel like we skipped over something. 2 thrones, spare regalia, and it's in ruins. Moon said it's in ruins, but somewhat magically protected, so the ruler can't actually scorch it and leave it just a smoking crater.
No.
And the question here is then, multiple, but the question I'm bringing up is, this was not the work of the current ruler.
No.
This is something that was done generations ago.
Yes.
But, again, timeline, I don't know, but say this happened 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And then shapeshifters and humans were segregated 500 years ago? More recently than that, either way. Okay, question is if it adds up with the timeline of the powers and the separation and the whatever. But it was done by an earlier ruler. The current ruler has somehow found out, but because he cannot use his water powers, he can't finish the job. Because it's underwater. You're thinking something. What are you thinking?
No, I just had the idea that the flying, like Tev being a dragon and flying over the land, might see that road or see a pattern somewhere that is weird. Maybe that's something that Neum sees while flying on Tev.
Yeah.
That, hey, that looks really weird. That doesn't look natural.
Yeah. Why would a road just end on a cliff?
Yeah. Which is cool.
I just like how useless Lynn is in all this.
She's not useless. She does things.
She's an inventor. She can invent a ladder for them to get off the cliff and down to the water.
Yes.
Yeah. The old bad rulers used their powers to break off the city over many generations.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't seen as this one ruler was evil. It was more of a natural catastrophe. So the ruler was never blamed for it.
Yeah.
It was a tragical thing, but, I wasn't there. I was off hunting. Oops. So was all my family. How strange. My co-ruler died, and since then there's never been a human ruler.
A human ruler?
A human commoner. A commoner ruler. A commoner heir.
Yeah.
Because...
So it was this whole thing started with an evil ruler or a slew of evil rulers.
Yeah.
And a big tragedy where the cliff with the castle plummeted into the ocean.
Yeah.
And the story at the time is that, oh no, it was a bad thing, or maybe even that the since the royal ruler survived but the commoner ruler didn't, the gods have deemed the commoner ruler bad, and therefore there are no more commoner rulers, and we are going to erase them from history because they were all evil. And
this makes your archivist heart hurt, doesn't it?
yes, but it makes the writer in me gleeful.
Yeah, no, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the ruling family was not there, conveniently, or tragically. I wasn't there. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save him or them. And either it was just a castle or it was actually a city there. It makes sense. It was more than just a castle.
Yeah.
And then they moved from the cliff because, again, the map, cliffs are dangerous. I don't know what is cliff and what's just land, but still.
Yeah.
So we moved inland and we moved south because safer because reasons.
Yeah.
And then tracks have been hidden and hopefully nothing survived. And there's never been a commoner heir who's grown up with powers.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the bird's eye view. Love seeing something from above and having it make sense. Yeah. The invention of friendship.
Very My Little Pony.
And then they all shift into ponies and trot off into the sunset down the old town road.
Yes.
Yes. It could be spread as being a curse. Yeah. Okay, so.
I have to go pee again, but I trust you to write this down.
I will write down what we have talked about.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. Many generations ago, an evil ruler did something to plummet the old capital into the sea with the common ruler inside. People. This was explained as a curse. The gods had turned against the commoner ruler. And all history of them should be erased because they were evil. Now, cartography is carefully restricted so that no one finds this old city or the signs that it was there. Neum and Tev find it from above because dragons.
There's dragons.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the cartography is restricted.
Uh-huh.
I feel like archivists would form their own underground cartography club.
Yeah.
But also I feel like since it is restricted, what else in this world is restricted? Religion.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's like the religious cartographer club endorsement, like, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of being a priest. Or not, actually. But like there's all maps have to be approved by the like something like that. You're not allowed to mass market maps. Not math.
So it's sort of a religious thing that, or maps are religious.
No, I don't know. I was just thinking it's like they're trying to restrict it. the religion is already keeping a very close eye on people.
Yeah.
And so maybe the only maps that are spread through the church because
Mhm.
they're church approved, because they are righteous maps, you know. But those maps are not correct. They don't have this road, and there are probably other secrets that they keep out too.
Yeah.
But secret cartographers, like what was her name? His friend?
Annery?
Yeah, Annery or Niam in this case, or like
Yeah.
people in the archive, they have been trying to find the correct maps, because maybe there are differences between last year's map from the church and this year's map, or
Yeah.
like they've changed over time and stuff. There's probably a hidden map collection somewhere in the archive,
Yeah.
on top of the things of like things that survived the plummeting into the ocean.
Yeah. The church helps restrict.
Yeah.
Maps.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
With what we have apart from that. I
Um,
also just like a dragon has suddenly reappeared in this world. That is wild.
Yeah.
And then you know, Niam shows up and he's like, I saw something strange from up there, and they're like, is that what we're missing? Did we miss a dragon? Is that what we needed to connect the dots? And like, but with that, I mean,
Or a shapeshifter. Because shapeshifters can fly.
I'm done. I do want to say though that makes a lot of sense. I do want to say that people living currently in this world,
Yeah.
this day and age, in their timeline,
Yeah.
do they not know about that city at all? Has the whole city, the whole history of that, been removed into just a legend, or not something to talk about at all?
I'm thinking.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it, as you can tell.
Yes.
Yeah, you're thinking.
Yeah, I am thinking.
Oh.
I'm thinking that it's a myth,
Mhm.
like the old capital that was sunk by evil, like or like I don't know, a Sodom and Gomorrah thing. It was destroyed because of sin, or like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that story very well, but
Well,
I can look into it.
I mean, it's what I know about it, and I'm not saying that but what I know about it is that the story is that they were so full of sin that God struck them down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I
yeah.
think. I apologize to any Christians that might be screaming at me right now. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but yeah. Then there could be people could know that could also work in favor of the current ruling family, of like that city was full of sin and bad.
Yeah.
But the royal family survived.
Yeah.
They were good. They are good.
Yeah.
And therefore, nothing they can do is evil. Because people don't change in 1,000 years, did you know? Scrolling back up, because we should go through the chat too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Righteous people were.
Yeah. They timed it well, the gods.
Yes.
Did you? They all shift into ponies and trolls into sunset. We saw that.
Yes.
I'm thinking of reverse hippocampus, fishy ponies.
Do you mean
is a part? Yeah,
Hippopotamus?
hippocampus is a part of the brain.
Yes.
A hippopotamus, possibly, yes.
Hippos.
That too, yes.
Yes.
Did you mean hippocampus? I am very curious, because that's a part of the brain.
Yes, it is.
It has to do with memory and stuff. Anyway, maybe we're just stupid and not getting the joke.
Yes. Imagine the bad ruler sank the entire city, and the common ruler obviously had powers too, but instead of saving themselves, they helped get some of the people to safety and died saving them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And those people brought the things to the archives.
Yeah.
I mean, I also imagine that there were other things that existed previously.
Yeah.
But
common
we can't see
ruler
the
from
you might want to scroll it.
then. Common ruler from back then used their powers to save people from the city and died.
Right. Saving them heroically. Yes. Question.
Yes.
The if you pull up the map again, just so we can point.
Yes.
So that city used to be where the red dot is.
Yeah.
On a cliff. Things are now saved in the archive inland.
Yeah.
There, exactly. That has always been a city, but it's just been a city. It's never been important to, I mean, a trading port maybe, but never been important in the same way. I'm thinking, did the ruler try to look through their archives and make sure they didn't save anything, or did it just not think that far for 1,000 years, and therefore things have been safe?
I don't know.
Maybe it's not important right now,
No.
but that's where things have been brought. A lot of them, at least.
Yeah.
And then the things that are found in the capital, in the new capital, are things that the ruling family approves of, and also maybe falsified documents.
I imagine that what's found in the new capital is like no old records.
Exactly.
It's only the new records, and maybe that's something that Neum. That's part of what Neum discovers. That why is there nothing from before 500 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I was thinking that, or I was thinking that there are texts or records of older events and older rulers from before the fall of the thing.
No.
But they're written on much newer paper, or like there is something that doesn't make sense.
It's only secondhand information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is too well preserved to be 3,000 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, scrolling. And the truth of the matter remained as whispers and gossips. Maybe that's what created the Resistance Archive movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
The myth of the last dual rule.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is like I think you especially, Violet, have thrown out some really good like one-liners with this. I'm starting to want named chapters. But also reading this book and flipping the page and seeing the headline, "The Myth of the Last Dual Rule," would be like, what the hell? That's a spoiler. I like it though.
We will write the book, and then we will give it to Violet to beta read and to name the chapters, okay? No?
Sure. Yes. Maybe have to get approval from the priests to be a cartographer officially, or to publish a map.
Yeah.
They have to, stamp for approval,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Cartographer could be a position of the church. I mean, I'm thinking maybe like head cartographer or senior cartographer is a position in the church.
Yeah.
Also, the church is well funded, so they'd be the first to have printing presses and be likely to have more printing presses than anyone else.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
See, again, it's all just coming together.
Yes.
Brainwashing is a powerful thing.
Yes.
That should also be a chapter name. It would be taboo, like demons. It could be taboo, like demons.
Yeah.
Don't
look into it, because it'll tempt you to sin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
It could be like the name is never spoken because the name is evil of the city.
Yeah.
And it like no one knows where it was.
Yeah.
Either no one knows where it was because you should be tempted to go there, or everyone knows
but stays away.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a thing of like, when it just happened, everyone just stayed away.
Yeah.
And then now people have forgotten, and it's like, yeah, it was over there. No, it was over there. And yeah. Yeah, but doing it like that.
Yeah. Moonmen hippocampi as a Greek mythological horses with fishtails. Yes, I found them too now.
I did not know about that.
No, me neither. And I just thought of hippocampus in the brain. Yes.
Yes. Fishy bunnies.
Fishy weenies.
So the reverse would be fish heads with horse asses. Cool.
Somehow very terrifying.
More terrifying than reverse mermaids?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. People in the nearby villages kind of knows, but the people in the south don't know. Maybe the southerners have a myth that it was in the nearby lake or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yay!
Yeah.
You got really excited about that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, of course you did.
But we do also need to figure out.
What the point is in the story?
No.
No?
What Lid does.
Yeah, because she's feeling a little useless. I mean, she is. And I don't like it. It's not a good thing.
No.
She does some really good things too, but if Neem is going to uncover dragons and uncover a hidden city and a hidden archive, and there should be 2 rulers, and she's just like, yeah, I'm trying to survive. It's not really what I want her part of the story to be. And yes, she's an inventor. Yes, she's an artist. But that hasn't really played a part in the plot of the dual rule yet.
No.
And I don't want that to be like the final thing. Is like, oh, I can make the 2nd crown. No.
No.
I want her to be more impressive than that.
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, moving on into the next fun thing.
Yay.
Does an archive burn down?
No.
Excellent. No, I just had an idea when I also saw the map now that I've been doing things wrong, but because according to the map, she goes over the water to the water trial.
Yeah.
I've had her passing through the same city again.
Cool. I mean, we can change things.
Yeah.
This is just a reference.
Yeah. Either way, I had the thing of she's in that city, she meets people in the archive, which she does meet a person who works in the archive, but she's never in the archive.
Mm.
And then she leaves, and then she comes back, and she's like, oh, maybe I can see them again. And then the archive is burned down. But that would suck, especially for this plot point that we just wrote. So let's just not do that. No archives ever burned down, ever. Libraries, on the other. So whatever.
Yeah.
Moon would really love if Lud had some key piece of information that makes all Nia's bits of info suddenly fit together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think back on what we said about their personalities and stuff. She is a bit of a problem solver with her inventions and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So she could see a pattern, or she could see a thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, could she be a part of if we have Niam and Ted fly to the city, and Niam starts looking into archives about the royal family and starts looking into his own lineage and those things, but doesn't discover the road. Lid could be a part of that, but it would suck if she only gets to see it and then they land and then she's taken away by guards.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. If Nian's part is more finding out about the lore and myths, and then maybe Lid's part is more about getting people's approval in the now. She becomes an inspirational figure that people rally about. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, I think, where because she was also gonna be the inside person for the resistance in the later half of the book. And
if always in the first half, yes.
No, but if basically if Niam is the one to figure things out until then. Until they have found all the information and the old city and all of that. And then Lid is the one who is more this, get people's approval and is the one to rally people around her.
Yeah.
Because she's more likable than Niam is, or more
people inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I just like how she's so scared of humans, but she'll get over that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, we need to figure out Lid's part of it all.
Yeah.
In it all. But yeah. Maybe add after the yay, make a new line. No, up there. Up there. There. Make a new line, and what is Lid's purpose? What does Lid do?
Is that relevant here?
No, It's no, it's more related to what I don't know.
I
Related
was,
somewhere.
I was just thinking putting it here.
Cool.
What is the point of lid?
Did you write, are they stressed enough?
Yes.
I feel like Lyd has like been stressed for 2 months straight.
Yeah, well, good for her.
Well, Miriam has issues. Okay, money.
Money.
Have you used money
Yes.
In your life?
Many times.
in the story?
I've mentioned money in the story, but not to any great detail.
Okay. What have you done?
I have written.
What have you done? Because I've used money recently in the last bit of the bit I've written.
Yeah.
And Lyd has money somehow. I don't know. Yeah, she got that from the air people. And I've used gold, silver, and copper coins.
Mm-hmm.
Just the three. They're not like, oh, the small copper and the large silver and stuff.
No.
They're just 3 kinds of coins. And I'm thinking there's a certain amount of coppers in a silver and a certain amount of silver in a gold.
No.
That's easy.
Yeah.
But I would like to keep using the gold, silver, copper. I like that.
Mhm.
Or gold, silver, bronze, possibly. That doesn't really matter. But
No.
that to me is easy.
No.
How many of each go into each, I don't know. I mean, if it goes 10 copper into a silver and 10 silver and a gold or something, is an easy system to use.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that in there. Gold, silver, bronze, or copper?
I mean, traditionally it's been copper.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what, but I'm sure there is.
Cool. 10 copper in a silver, 10 silver in a gold.
Yeah.
Because easy math. And then the worth of it, because she came across something that was like 16 gold, and she was like, yeah, that could feed my family for a year and a half. That's a
Yeah, I mean,
lot.
that depends a little bit. Like, because if we going with the 10 copper and a silver and 10 silver and a gold, then gold isn't that much more worth than copper.
No, exactly. And then you need a lot of gold for something to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could also be a like 50 copper and a silver and then 50 silver and a gold.
Yes.
To make gold more
Valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's go 50. And I mean, I don't feel like we need to have a, I don't need to know how much could 50 silver buy me.
No.
I don't need to know that. But this, I can adjust to this. And then we'll just look through it when we've both written about it.
Yeah.
And when it's been mentioned a couple times. That like, okay, but you said that she could buy a pair of shoes for 3 copper. I said she could barely get a meal for 6. Like,
Yeah.
So there's continuousness.
Yes.
Words.
Yeah. That's true. Also, the gold coins could be smaller, but still worth 10 silver.
Mm-hmm.
Just being half the size means gold by weight is more. Gold by weight is worth 20 times what silver is worth.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is
Continuity.
true.
That was
Continuity.
the
That's
word.
Yes. So, what do we say? 50 copper and a silver. And then the suggestion was 10 silver and a gold. Gold coins are half the size of silver coins. So 20 times more valuable.
But then it should probably be 10 copper and a silver as well.
Yeah.
If we want it easy,
We do.
which I feel like we do because, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So worth and currency haven't been figured out, sort of.
Yeah.
And then I have the different in different parts of the world, which goes into isolation, which we have down below that you can't see, but I can see it there. So I'll bold this and we'll go back to it when we talk about isolation.
Sure.
Also, I feel like we've been at this for a very long time.
Yeah, 3 hours so far.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Time. That ties into periods
Yes.
that we talked about before. Because we talked about distance last time around, and do they use mile? Do they use within reach? Or like stuff like that. A mile is not within reach typically, unless you're a dragon, then maybe. Stuff like that. And I've had the same thing with time.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like a day, a night,
Yeah.
yesterday, tomorrow, those concepts make sense that they exist.
Yeah.
But do they break things down into minutes and days, minutes and hours and stuff? Or a little later, a while ago, when I had lunch? Like those kinds of terms instead.
Yeah.
Because there are no clocks.
Aren't there?
There might be. Liv probably doesn't have one.
No.
But I'm thinking like, yeah, they know that they know that a month is 28 days. They know that a day is 24 hours ish. I guess that they know that.
Yeah.
But more so, what do they use to track time? I've talked about this before. Time to research.
I thought we talked about clocks, but I don't.
No, I'm not sure we have.
How do they measure time?
Yeah. 13 months.
28 days each, 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. But I don't know if they're aware that they're 24 hours in a day, or if we're just saying that it's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
To know how much time they have.
Yeah. But I feel like hours is a reasonable thing.
Okay.
Minutes maybe not so relevant.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, if I did not have access to any clock, watch, clock, anything, I don't know if I will be able to tell that it's been an hour or it's been 3. Unless I'm consciously, if I know how long of a distance, some like this will take me an hour, I'm there now, it's been an hour, or I'm getting hungry again.
Well, I mean, hours, like not an exact thing, but that will depend on how the sun moves.
Yes.
And you will, like, if you're used to telling time by the sun, you can probably tell that, well, it's now been about an hour, almost 2 hours, like, just by the angle.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that's probably how Liv is used to telling time, at least.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so hours is fine. They don't know minutes, but they can know it's been a while. It's been less than an hour.
I mean, since they have an hour, they can probably have half an hour, a quarter of an hour.
Yeah.
And again, not exactly 15 minutes, but about a quarter of an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're paying attention to the sun, they could get disoriented about time on an overcast day, or if they were underground or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's true. And Niam will have no sense of it because he doesn't understand the sun, doesn't see the sun anymore.
Exactly.
And I mean, the moon is also timed in a way, but he probably doesn't know.
No.
Yeah, doesn't have that knowledge. So he's just gonna have to guess.
Yeah.
Where there aren't clocks, hours and minutes could be used more as an expression if clocks are common in the world, but like only in church towers or something. Yeah. Because I imagine they'll have like, I don't know, will they have seconds or will they count that in like a few heartbeats later or something like that?
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I also don't know how frequent this will be.
No.
That we have to use this. But it came up for me once or twice, and I was like, how do I actually phrase this? And it was enough that I was like, oh, a little while later, or the next moment, like things like that. But yeah. So they use it, but a minute is an expression, and not actually exactly 60 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I had 2 questions to you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need more on the time and the minutes and seconds and stuff?
Possibly not, although I feel like we should solve that.
Do we need to solve that now, or
Possibly not, no.
I could just write and see what happens?
Cool.
Yeah.
You can pants it. Ooh. Yeah, second question.
Second question. Are you losing steam?
No, not at all.
Oh?
No.
Okay.
I am. I'm sorry. I am, yes.
Yes.
But we're also getting kind of close, and I feel like we need to figure out some of the, I feel like religion we could skip for today.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to know that until a later draft.
Uh-huh.
But maybe we should figure out some of the other things. Like, are dreams used? Is there shape-shifting blocking magic?
Yeah.
Are you losing steam?
No, I feel fine.
Okay.
But I was just, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had it for 3 hours.
Yes. What of this do you feel like is important that we need to know now?
I wonder about the dreams, what we've said about those, because Lynn has not been having them at all.
No.
And I think we said that it was going to be a dream that leads her to the water trial.
Yeah.
And she hasn't had any.
No.
And maybe it's special. Maybe that one's special.
Maybe.
But we also said last time that ignore them for now.
Yeah.
So how does she know where to go with the water trial? Because she's there waiting for them when they get there.
Yeah, I mean, she could just wander aimlessly and just sort of find herself there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or pulled there and be like, this feels right.
Intuition, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or she can have a dream for that specific one.
Yeah, maybe. Because at that point, she's also proven to the gods that she's acquired all the other powers.
Yeah.
And something. I don't know if she has that dream when she leaves electricity or lightning, or if she has that when she's almost there. Like,
No.
that I don't know. But okay, Lid can have a dream for this.
Yeah.
Lid has a dream for where to go with to
I
find
have a
the...
dream. I have a dream.
Yes. She has a dream for that.
Yeah.
Ignore apart from that. Unless we want them.
Yeah. Yeah. Ignore.
Oh yeah, what did you do?
I fixed it.
I fixed it.
Well, you probably tried to fix it at the same time,
But I'm
like,
out there. I'm at the end of the sentence.
well, I
Oh,
don't know.
Oh well. You okay?
Yes.
We also talked about how there are no magical abilities, or no one apart from the royal family. The ruler and the heirs have magical abilities.
Yes.
There are no magical artifacts. There's no magic.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly dragon. But also, there is a shape-shifting blocking magic in the cave where she does her medal trial.
Yeah.
And that could be put there by the gods, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I've also written that exists in the church that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that makes sense. Because I don't really want to change it and have a bunch of magical artifacts and stuff.
No.
And if the gods are no longer on the ruler's side, they're maybe also no longer on the priest's side. So why protect the churches from shape-shifting magic, sort of thing?
Yeah, and I mean, the gods were never against shapeshifters.
No. And then the question is that something that exists? Because we said that it would affect Tev too in his dragon form
Yeah.
in the same, not same cave, but like the same
Yeah.
trial. So maybe there is anti-shape-shifting magic in that cave,
Yeah.
in that mountain. That is a thing. And the ruler learned this, or a previous one,
Mm-hmm.
when they were doing the quest. And they've been mining it to protect their churches, and maybe other places too. So that if someone who is a shapeshifter tries to do something with or to or in a church,
Mm.
that will be interrupted.
Maybe. Then she shouldn't be able to shapeshift in the castle either.
No. And then we can't have a little birdie landing on her windowsill and telling her everything's fine.
Well, yeah. It goes like you can't shapeshift. My interpretation there is that you can't shapeshift. You're in the shape you're in.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And she can still communicate telepathically with someone who shows up as a bird. Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
So then there would be some property in that rock or the metal in that, like something
Yeah.
that prevents shapeshifting somehow, and we don't need to know the science behind that.
No, some property in the rock / metal in the metal at the metal trial used to stop shape shifting. This has been mined and is used in churches and the castle to limit people's ability to shift. It doesn't bring you back or shift you back into your human form. It keeps you in whatever form you're in.
Yeah.
But then Lid and Tev fly as bats into the cave. Or into the mountain, and then they shift back before they actually enter the cave. Is that enough?
If you have to be surrounded by that, by that material,
Yeah.
like if they fly as bats but not into a cave but to the opening of a cave, or not so far into the cave that they are actually surrounded.
Yeah. That could still work. I could also change that they don't actually fly as bats into it. Like, I'm not super attached to that anyway. So that could be fine. Yeah? Okay.
Cool.
Isolation.
Yes.
Which ties into this bit up here as well. It's just out of reach for you.
Scroll.
There we go. Oh, sorry, chat. Shapeshifter kryptonite. Sounds good to me. Morbid idea. The churches. The churches used to drown suspected shapeshifters, shackle them, throw them in a river, and they can't shift into a fish and swim away.
Yeah.
Amy, do you want to talk about this? Yes.
We did talk about how to find out if someone is a shapeshifter.
Yep.
Put them in water.
Yep. See if they float.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
That is morbid, but totally believable. Yes. Isolation.
Yes.
Given what we've said now about how they killed off the previous ruler,
yeah,
and a whole line, in a way, of rulers,
mm-hmm.
It would make sense if they wanted to be isolated. Also, outside countries know that they have the ruler has magical powers. That is dangerous. How do we fight that sort of thing?
Huh.
That they might want to stay isolated. No one might want to come here because the ruler can throw fire at us and we would die.
Maybe.
But the reason it's a problem is because I wrote that Lid actually meets someone in a marketplace in the archive city up there,
mm-hmm.
Where, like in the markets, who is trading or selling stuff, who doesn't speak the language,
mm-hmm.
and who is then presumably not from this land.
Probably.
Yeah. And I'm also thinking the port where Lid and Tev's family have been trading.
Yeah.
Why would they just trade with shapeshifters and not trade with anyone else? I've called it a trading port, a trading city.
I mean, I wasn't thinking that as of that as trading. I was thinking of that as fishing.
Okay, it's a fishing city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of my ideas with, as I talked about towards the end of the last stream, my thinking of what are the elementals, what are these gods,
Yes.
and if they had come from outside and settled here to have people here worship them, and that these gods then, or elementals, or whatever they really are, have isolated this place because if you get ideas from the outside world,
you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Could there be a thing where the ruler doesn't like trading with, like, the ruler also wants to keep people out because if people from the outside come in, they might remember that there used to be two, and information can spread and gossip, and it would ruin me. But he can't control all the cities. So there's a possibility that someone can trade in a different city. It's dangerous, but they could dock there and sell their peppers. I don't know. No? Okay.
In theory, but I feel like if it's illegal, that's not gonna...
It's not gonna be good.
It's not gonna be good, and the person in the marketplace who is openly not from here is gonna get arrested immediately.
Fair.
I don't know. Others wouldn't want to come to the country because the ruler is so dangerous, but also the ruler has so much control of the country and is so into having total control, they probably would suck at diplomacy. True.
Really?
And interacting with anyone who wasn't under their control. So it's not just the ruler, even the gods try to keep them isolated so they'll be more easily controlled. That was my thinking.
Who is they?
The gods. Or they would be the people here.
So both the ruler and the gods want to keep the people isolated. Yes, right, because the gods don't want to be redundant and the ruler doesn't want people he can't control.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I had to think of that for a second. Okay.
I think we also talked about isolation partially from a world building perspective, so we wouldn't have to deal with world building the rest of the world.
But that also means that everything that is consumed, worn, eaten, built, everything needs to come from this land or the surrounding waters.
Yeah. Which shouldn't be a huge problem.
No.
Because the population wouldn't grow any bigger than this land can accommodate.
Yeah. That's true. But it also means that they are a little stuck in what they can do.
How do you mean?
I don't know. If there are no silkworms, they can't make silk.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my one and only suggestion. The ruler knows nothing of the outside. It could also be true. This country's everything there is in the world. It's a water planet with exactly one place with land. The ruler would likely be totally ignorant of other continents if generations of rulers have been maintaining its isolation.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have started like that. We don't want people coming in because either ruler needs to be in charge, and then over time it's like more fear or not knowing.
Yeah, but it's also if I'm thinking with total isolation sort of needs to come from the gods, because otherwise
seafarers would just happen upon this land.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. So I've scrapped that scene too.
I'm sorry.
I'm scrapping some of my best work.
I'm sorry, you don't have to scrap it entirely. You can probably make it work somehow.
Yeah, I know.
I love you.
I love you too. Yeah. Okay, so no outsiders.
Yeah.
Okay. For generations. I mean, I assume back when there were two rulers and all that, there were people who came from other lands.
Depends on if the gods didn't like other people. But I imagine at least before the gods arrived, maybe there was some trade or interaction with other lands.
Yeah.
But it's very isolated. No contact with or knowledge of any other continents. To them, this is the world.
Mhm.
Like, they're not even actually a country; they are the entire world in a way.
As far as they're aware of, yes.
Yes. So they think of themselves as the
Yeah.
world. They don't think of themselves, yes, this country that I live in.
No. Now, there are probably people on islands other than the shapeshifter islands. True.
Could be.
But they're part of this world, of this country, and they shouldn't really have different languages.
No, maybe a very different dialect.
Yeah.
Because there is that. If we're thinking history, people didn't used to travel a whole lot,
No.
and so, like, someone from up here and someone from down here, they might not understand each other because they've never heard each other's dialects, and their dialects have been very isolated in themselves.
Yeah.
So that they have evolved to be very, very different.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what's happening right now is both languages and dialects are disappearing because people aren't speaking them anymore because they're assimilating other dialects and languages that they hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily on islands, since
Yeah.
they don't like seafaring, but
True. But that is one of its own question, and different dialects in the north and the south, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the outsiders in this country could just be people from the islands. Like, Lyd would be considered an outsider, or people from other islands inside. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Is the entire archipelago shapeshifters? Or is there a shapeshifter island and there are other...
I mean, what we said, what I seem to recall, is that the shapeshifters were banished out here.
Yes.
And that seafaring is dangerous because of shapeshifters is the
Belief.
belief, but actually it's the gods that want to keep them here.
Who is them? The people.
People.
Yeah.
In which case, maybe not islands like this, but maybe there are like smaller islands closer to the land.
I'm also wondering, have shapeshifters always lived on these islands? And there have only ever been shapeshifters, and then they were all banished to these islands? Or are there other people on these islands who aren't shapeshifters, but who now have to deal with them because they were forced to move there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Not getting into that right now. They're not as tightly controlled because it would be difficult for the ruler to do so, and because their settlements are so small.
Oh. And Moon was picturing a smaller island closer to the continent, the sort of where like 15 people might live.
Yeah, and that's close enough to like take a rowboat to the...
Yeah, or walk in winter.
Yeah, and you're not seafaring in the same way. It's not as dangerous.
Yeah.
You might still be a bit of an outsider, but you're not them. You're not shapeshifters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So small islands, 15 people-ish, walk over ice or rowboat. You walk over ice or you walk over the rowboat.
Yeah, sounds good.
What if the gods don't want to keep the people there? What if they were trapped by something else? What if they were trapped something else? No. So under Inferno Valley, there's a kraken, and they're trying to keep the kraken in.
I know, but like the gods are not actually evilly trying to keep these people here, but they are trying to isolate something else, or the gods have been banished here by something else.
And so actually the whole powers and elemental magic and stuff is a curse.
Yeah. Something big and evil lurks beneath Inferno Valley.
Yep.
We have a lot of spin-offs here
We do.
and prequels and stuff.
Do you want to write down the banishment of the gods and the curse thing somewhere?
Sure.
You're not writing it in this document, are you?
No.
Cool.
Oh.
Cool. Well then, moving down the list. Are they stressed enough? Yes, they are. Why is Liam not stressed?
Because he has done all but 2 of the challenges and he still has 26 days. There's no reason for him to stress.
I'm sure Lyd will be very happy when he tells her that. I could have been here 2 weeks ago, but I had to uncover a hidden path that leads to a secret old capital that leads to a...
And then we're just like, here's the timeline.
Mhm.
And I have shifted it around a little bit on Liam's part. But like on like day 7 he does the air challenge, and then he has lots of time to get to the archive city, and then there's the Inferno Valley, and he does the metal trial, and now I'm at like just after the metal trial, maybe somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, but he has so much time. There's like there's no, because I was gonna have him like thinking about, oh, how am I gonna have time to do this and this and that.
Mm.
And then I looked at the timeline and I'm like, yeah, but you have almost as much time as you've already used up. You only have 2 trials left.
Oh.
What's the problem?
Yeah, and I also feel like there's entirely too much time between Lyd leaving the city
Yeah.
and the electricity trial. I've written it like it's like 3 days at most. I've time skipped,
Yeah.
but like it cannot be 11 days, 12 days. It can't, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we could shorten it to be like 40 days or 45, or like.
Yeah.
I'm not dead set on this.
No.
But
I'm also thinking like there should be enough.
We don't need to pad this plot much more, do we? No?
I'm just thinking, logically speaking, there should be enough time for the trial or for the quest to be able to get to all the different places and also have a couple of side quests. Because that's how adventuring works.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have a lot of time left over.
No.
And now I feel like they have a fair bit of time to just take a leisurely stroll around the, and then take a flight on a dragon somewhere.
Yes.
I don't like it.
It shows the different personalities and perspectives.
I mean, I suppose.
True, yes. Liam is the one who needs to be beset by bandits. Maybe. Or be trying to trigger the world trial and getting more and more stressed about not knowing how to make it happen or where to go.
I mean, I think that's what she's going to be doing.
Yeah. Lyd could have a little side quest.
Yes. I guess. I mean, she does have a few loose ends. I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. I mean, to be fair, okay, she did have the talk with the person whose mom was a cartographer.
Yeah.
Who said that they got to her, something bad happened.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how and where and who she will investigate that.
No.
And that's also kind of doing the same thing that Liam is.
Yeah.
What if they're in the archive at the same time? I mean, actually, like seriously, Tev drops Liam, thank you, off. Liam heads to the archive. She comes down from electricity into the city. She meets up with the person she met before who runs the archive. who might not be working that day, but she's like, yeah, this is the archive. I'm going to shop. And both Lid and Liam are in the archive, but they're researching different things at the same time, not talking, or just like, oh, sorry, could I please? Yeah, like they meet, but sort of. And then they separate again. He heads north to electricity, she heads south to water.
Maybe. Would she
know how to archive? No.
Yeah, would she go to an archive? Would she know the point of an archive?
I don't know.
Because, like, speaking as an archivist, most people don't know the point of an archive.
Keeping things pretty.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Almost like it can't, but in a way it shouldn't be something that they decide to do.
What?
The whatever makes this take longer than it should.
No, yeah. I mean, she's not going to come down from electricity and be like, yeah, I only have water left. Also, I just got my period. Time's running out. But that person from Arena, she said something about her mom, and I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I like that. What was that? What did we talk about?
The meeting.
2 minutes
or
ago?
not meeting, but being in the same place, I think. Maybe.
Also foreshadowed the second part, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It sounds like this book is getting very long. I agree.
We did math the other day and realized they might be 400,000 words long.
Yeah. Perhaps its capital/ruler thing will have to be another book with a prequel that would make a trilogy. Yeah.
Darn it!
Yeah, in a way, it is entirely possible that, like,
Yeah, it's too long.
it's gonna, yeah. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll cry about that later.
So to say that would be so frustrating to read as a reader.
Yep.
Yes.
But frustrating in a good way, right? Okay, side note. If we make it into a trilogy, then the book 2 would be the beginning of this one. Right?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, book 3 would be sort of the maybe the water trial, maybe finding out about the lost capital, them getting separated, her being taken to the capital, and everything that happens after that, and what happens to him too, right?
Yeah.
But the prequel we're thinking has nothing to do with these characters.
Yeah.
That's like an origin story, more so, or a much, much earlier generation.
Yeah.
That does not a trilogy make.
Depends on how you see it.
I think they're supposed to follow the same characters.
Depends on how you see it.
Very good point, Moon. This could be book 1 that ends when they meet up before after the water trial, and the second book is taken on the ruler. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I said that earlier on the stream. It's starting to feel like a duology because it's just too damn long.
Too damn long. I love you. Yes, frustrating in a good way, mostly. At this point, I'd more say this is duology. The dual rule
The dual rule duology.
With the spare air and the flower power.
Yes, the dual rule duology of the spare air and the flower power. Yeah?
Yeah, cool.
The second book in the Grayson trilogy is a prequel.
I don't know if it's officially called a trilogy, but Fire has mostly different characters dealing with the antagonist from Graceling when he was much younger. And I mean, the Narnia books are technically a series, but they don't, like...
They're in the same world, but they're not the same people.
Yeah.
Many of them, yeah.
And, like, the first book... I don't know what that's called in English.
No.
My Uncle the Wizard, that's what it's called in Swedish.
No.
That's a prequel. And then The Horse and His Boy, if that's the English that is completely different character. Like, yeah, it can.
It can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this book is getting too darn long. There is no getting around that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And then we also have the prequel idea. So,
Yes.
yeah.
The Magician's Nephew. Okay, so in Sweden they just swapped it to be My Uncle the Wizard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what is the point here?
The point here is that this is not stressful enough.
I don't know what book you're writing, but Lid is plenty stressed, I'll tell you.
Cool.
Yes.
So I should try to find some side plots for Liam so he's slowed down so he can be more stressed.
Maybe, but we also need to find more side plots for Lid because she's just doing the trials.
Well, how is that taking so long?
Because everything is going poorly for her. She doesn't have the luck that Liam has. Been over this before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because a way we could solve the timeline issue a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but that only affects Lid, so it doesn't help for you.
Oh.
It could be that she leaves on day 20, and then she has to squeeze everything into 32 days. But that doesn't help Liam, who leaves pretty early on. He doesn't go around with the power for 3 months and then leaves.
No.
Then he'd be dead. So
yes. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll just not decide anything on that right now, and we'll just see. The other translated Narnia titles.
Yeah.
We don't have them up here anymore, but it is My Uncle the Wizard. It is The Witch and the Lion. The Horse and His Boy.
Oh yeah, The Horse and His Boy, and then Caspian, Prince of Narnia. So Caspian, Prince of Narnia, King Caspian, and the Skeppningen.
The ship. The
Morning ship.
The ship named Dawn.
The ship named Dawn, right? And then Silver Throne, and the last battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing if we can find more side plots for both of them, technically.
Yes, maybe. But for now, maybe just writing and see what happens.
Yeah. I don't like how I phrased this question at all.
That was my phrasing.
Didn't I tell you to write that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yes. Scrolling back up though, when we talked about isolation, I bolded a part of the money, which was asking if the currency was different in different parts of the world.
Yes.
I'll just remove that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can skip religion again. We put that there, and my world animal username is not important for this anyway.
No.
So, yes, sort of is the answer. Just enough.
Yeah.
Maybe more side. Is it called side plots or subplots? Subplots.
Yeah, it's a side quest, but a subplot.
Right. Maybe more subplots. We'll see. Keep writing.
Yeah.
And what is the point of Lid?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna look at the chat.
Like have them break their legs or something. We don't need Lid to have a mangled arm and then have a mangled leg. I don't think.
Cool. We'll talk during the stream Thursday about Liam being injured and then Lid healing him.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And he was going to go around being hurt for a long time. And then she's hurt from before because of her arm. And then he shows up and they meet. And she's like, oh, I can heal you. The irony. True. Yeah. He could be hurt.
Yeah.
Let's hurt Liam.
Yay! Yes. Yeah, Voyage of the Dawn Treader is quite different.
No.
Because in English it's about the ship, and in Swedish it's about
King
King Caspian.
Yeah.
No? Okay, do we answer what's the point of Lid, or do we just write until they meet back up and see, meet up and see what's going on then? Because we did say that maybe her time to shine is in the second half of the book.
Yeah.
But
or
if
the
it's-
second book.
Yeah, but if it's 2 books, then they should probably shine both of them in both books. Otherwise,
Preferably.
no one's gonna like Lid in the first book
Yeah.
because she doesn't do anything.
She does plenty.
She does, yes.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. And also, not to be that person, you have the electricity and the water left.
Yeah,
I only have the water left.
Yeah.
And her getting there. You have not half my work. You're at like 45.
yeah,
And I have 72.
yeah,
So word count wise, you have a lot to catch up with.
yeah,
So maybe it would make sense for him to go on these side quests and find the map and find the path and,
yeah,
for the word count to build. Maybe.
maybe. But also building the word count is not a goal in itself.
No. But yeah, I say leave Lid until later. We're going to write up until the water trial, and then before we write the water trial, we're going to reread our own, but also each other's.
Yeah.
Read each other's.
Yeah.
So that can wait.
So I guess then we're done for today. And Avi is going. Bye bye, Avi.
Bye bye.
Have fun in the sauna.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've come to some pretty good conclusions.
And come up with a whole new subplot.
Yes. Yay. It's a good one.
It's
though.
a really, really good
Yeah.
one, I gotta say. Still proud of myself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Come up with some really good things. We're gonna keep writing. And stuff.
Yeah. And we will do another stream like this last Saturday of June.
Which is Midsummer's Day here.
And hopefully we'll see you guys on Thursday. Those streams are not scheduled yet, but they will be.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out.
And I'm hosting?
I'm hosting.
You're hosting.
Yes.
I don't remember who hosts. And neither do you.
And Moon also has to go, so good timing.
Very good timing.
Yeah. Well, bye bye.
Bye bye then. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
We'll see you later.